tender.
Super well cooked. Yeah.
I buy carrots and like potatoes with the intent of making curry, and then my carrots always go bad before I remember to make curry.
Oh really?
Okay, here's
Oh,
the
no.
MLG method that I do. Is where I'm at, the Walmart I have, I don't know it's Walmart, but they have bagged carrots, but they have smaller bags inside the bags. So it's like remember, did you make lunch as a kid, and like you'd get like the bag of carrots,
carrot bag things. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. It's basically that, but it allows you to basically portion these, and they're baby carrots, right?
Yeah,
They're
so
not
you can just kind of
big,
have them
thick
keep.
ones.
Yeah.
And so they keep so if one carrot goes bad in a bunch, it doesn't contaminate the rest of them. Same goes with garlic. I buy pre-peeled garlic, and it's like the same thing. It actually works out.
But just
really well.
regular, like a clove of garlic lasts forever.
That's true.
Yeah,
Especially in the
lasts long
fridge.
enough for me.
I've seen one go for 6 months without anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a clove of garlic when I moved in. Like a month after I moved in, and I still have the same clove of garlic, and it's fine.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
It's been like
Onions too,
8
man.
months.
Onions, like you just peel off the worst layer. Like if it looks weird, like all right,
Yeah,
peel
right.
it, and then
Onions.
you're good.
You just end up with a smaller onion.
Yeah,
It's
a
fine.
little smaller. And that's okay. I don't
Still
mind. I don't
Oh,
mind.
dude,
I'm
the
gonna
risotto
make,
though.
mhm.
Fuck, it turned out excellent.
Good.
Yeah.
I was
made
gonna make some gnocchi tonight.
Oh, I love
Some
gnocchi.
with red sauce and some sort of
Some meat.
meat. I haven't decided on that part. I'm just gonna peruse and see what I can add.
Chicken.
Chicken's great.
And then I could add chicken with the gnocchi.
Yeah, I think chicken and gnocchi is best.
And then I have I'm gonna make fajitas this week as well. I think.
Nice.
Nice.
Or some sort of Japanese thing, because I just bought a lot of dumplings and steam buns
Yeah,
today.
that's your
Yeah.
like side with
you
your
went to your
Japanese.
local Asian grocery market and just picked up like, all right, I'm getting bao buns, steam buns. Did you get the
I bought the
shumai?
steam. Yeah, I guess I got some shumai and I got some steam buns and some pork steam buns. And then that's probably all I need, right? That's a full meal, honestly.
Yeah, your freezer is packed.
I also got a lasagna.
Lasagna.
Yeah, I got one of those frozen lasagnas,
Oh, okay.
which are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like
got
those.
one
Those are good.
months and months ago, and I was like,
Stellar.
serve 6. That sounds like it'll last me a little bit.
Yeah, I had those
Yeah,
as a kid
one
a
meal.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I made some tacos just yesterday. It was great. Made some tacos with like a red sauce, jalapenos, and I bought this amazing hot habanero mango sauce at Trader Joe's, and it's really good. I really like the hot sauce. So I just dumped that stuff on
That's
it.
good.
It was good.
I just went to Target today, and it's usually a mistake when I go there.
You buy too much?
Like I sometimes I walk into a place like I don't get a basket, I don't get a cart. I just walk in with my hands and like to restrict myself. Like I
Yeah.
can only walk out with 2 things.
Yeah, it's like I can't
essentially.
carry everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I went around Target with a cart, and that was a
Oh.
mistake. And so I got a little splatter guard for my pans. So you
Uh-huh.
just put it on top essentially, and it like prevents it from from splattering everywhere.
for
I was
what
having
purpose?
to splatter from like you're cooking stuff, and then oil pops and it
oils,
goes over
yeah.
your kitchen top. And I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
Is it
So I
not
got
just
this thing that goes on top of it,
Is it not?
and it lets steam through and things. It's like a mesh.
Oh, okay. It's
Oh,
not
that's
like
cool.
just
To
a
catch all
pot
the oil
cover.
and
It's
stuff
like
like
a
that.
special splash cover.
Yeah,
Specifically.
And
It's
like
just it's
multiple
like
sizes.
I don't know what to describe it as. It's just like a mesh circle that goes on top of the pan.
That's actually kind of genius. I may have to get one of those because that's always been my problem. The problem is that most of the time I'm like constantly like using a wok or something like that, right? And so you just can't have a splatter guard or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah,
I definitely will cook things for like, let it simmer for 5 or so minutes or stuff like that. So it just happens enough where I thought it would be nice to have.
yeah, I
Smart.
don't have to clean your entire stove
Yeah.
top like after you cook a little
Yeah,
with
that
a
was
little
my
bit of
goal.
oil.
Because like I'll come back
Yeah.
after cooking time and I'm like, oh my, there's little dots of oil everywhere.
Yeah, it's
like,
just there
Yeah.
freaking destroys my stove
And
top.
what was that thing that you just sent Colton today? It was
Today?
Was it today or yesterday?
what did I send Colton?
It was a picture of...
send me the
it was
thermometer?
Something...
Oh, it was a sous vide. Sous vide?
Sous vide? Oh, okay.
Sous vide. Sous vide.
Sous
Sous
vide.
vide.
When did you send me this?
Earlier today. It's the precision cooker, and you said you have one.
Oh, you know what?
And then what? I asked what an immersion blender was, and I did not get a response to that.
I'm sorry.
I don't know
immersion blender.
what is that?
It's like so it's a blender that you immerse in liquid versus putting the liquid inside the blender. So it's got like a guard, usually made of like steel. I'm trying to explain it. It's like a giant dildo with a a blender on the end of it.
It's
That seems like it wouldn't blend as well as a regular blender.
Well, it's meant to go like in, like, say if you're making like
a soup or
like a soup, but
sauce?
not so much a soup, but like a bisque. You know, like a very homogeneous liquid. You just stick it in your big old thing, and
it's like you can put it in a saucepan instead of like having a blender and then blending your stuff. You can just like have it cooking, and then here's the immersion blender, bzzz, and then
Seems like you would miss stuff.
Yeah,
but what I sent you was like a sous vide.
Yeah, I actually thought I completely missed the mark on that one. I just thought that was a thermometer, like, and it had like I completely missed that. So I don't have one of those. I told you I did have one of those.
Oh, okay.
I don't. But
so
I should probably
I think I
get
talked about that before. But like you get a steak, and then you put that, you mix it with all your seasonings and stuff, and then you put it in a bag, and you vacuum seal it.
Yeah.
And then you put that in a tub of water, and then you put this in the water.
Yeah.
Clip it to the side, and then it heats the water to like an exact temperature that's supposed to cook the steak really well.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
And that's supposed to be like a really good way to cook it.
But for $220, I don't think I'll ever do that.
Oh, yeah. But it's supposed to be really good, right? Isn't that like supposed to be a very, very good way? Even though you're not searing it, you're not searing it.
It makes it very
outside.
tender. But it makes it very tender, but you don't get like Maillard reactions from it, I don't think.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it depends if you put like lemons and stuff in the bag with it.
Yeah, I would think like a roast. That'd be such a good way to cook it. One day, but
imagine you can also sear it, then vacuum seal it, and put it in.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Or do a reverse sear where you do that and then you sear it after.
Then sear it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at all these ideas we got.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to cook now.
We're a cooking channel now. I know, right?
Yeah, honestly, I want to cook now. I think I'm just eating like random chicken tonight. I don't know.
Yeah. I also have started using my cast iron more. After we talked last, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just cook with the cast iron. Like,
cast iron.
All right. Here's the real question: is what do you guys normally go to if you're like I'm lazy, I don't feel like cooking right now tonight? Mm-hmm. What is your go-to? Like just in the house, like snacking, or do you guys always like go out? Beefaroni?
Really?
I actually did that the other day because I have like 3 cans of beefaroni, and I was like, you know what?
Oh God,
I could just have that.
I love mac and cheese. If I'll have mac and cheese, or like I'll take grilled cheese. Grilled cheese is usually easy because I have like toast and I have lunch meat, and I love grilled cheese and soup, tomato soup. So I'll do that a lot. Then mac and cheese is amazing, and I love Kraft mac and cheese. So you need a whole box of that.
Slaps.
I mean, I feel like I said beefaroni, but like I have several things that I alternate between. That's like I can do that.
Yeah.
Or I usually have dumplings and buns. So like I'll just steam that.
Yeah.
And that's a good meal. Or I always have eggs. So I can make something quick with eggs usually.
With eggs, yeah.
Nice.
So
you always cook something? You don't do like what I do sometimes where it's like, or actually this is more of a lunch thing rather than dinner thing. It's like, I've got hummus and I've got whatever I can dip in that hummus. Let's combine the two. You got tortillas, hummus.
I don't think I ever have like a snack thing for a meal.
I'm not a snacker, so yeah, I don't have a lot of that stuff.
I'm a total snacker, man.
Like a classic lunch I have on the weekends if I'm not going out is I'll just have top ramen and like some trail mix. So that's the lowest.
That's a snack.
I was like, that's $2 and efficient.
Yeah,
it's like it's super. It's like the ramen's like 30 cents, and then I always have trail mix anyway. So
yeah,
but that is more of a snack than most. It's
just, I guess that's kind of in that realm of the snack.
Yeah, one tasty.
But
snack.
Overall,
so I have a small rant. Not rant. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I'm throwing some people under the bus. Not you guys, but some people I met over this weekend in my city. Before we get into like the main topic of today or whenever we start the podcast, if we've started the podcast,
Oh yeah.
Me and Carly went and got sushi last night.
Oh, nice.
My city is not super cultured. I don't know. It's like not like, I don't know how to say this without doxing myself, but it's not like one of the huge cities where you'd have a lot of different multicultural foods, and it's like the best in class in America.
It's also
of
not like
multicultural
a
foods.
stretch to say that it's also landlocked, so it's
Yeah.
tough
yeah.
to get fresh seafood.
So I can say like, yeah, it's not like it's not like
not on the
LA.
coast.
It's not on the coast.
like I'm
right?
also landlocked. It sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so we got sushi, right? And the sushi all three of us had, we went to Sugarfish in LA. Really good, really, really like delicious stuff, right? Went to the sushi spot. It was good, but it was like all right. It was super overpriced. It was okay.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
Asian fusion. I don't know. Like
Yep.
that there's a time and a place for like the really like Americanized rolls, but I was talking to some people out last night and about that sushi spot, and they're like, "Bro, it's the best sushi I've ever had in my life." And I'm like, "Oh,
You need to get out more,
no.
man.
People from areas that don't have good sushi do not understand how bad the sushi is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, like,
You know,
it just, I don't know. I don't know why I'm ranting. I don't know why that made me upset, but I'm just like, friend, I know there's so much better.
Yeah.
And if you think that's peak sushi,
Did you put your hand on like their like
Listen.
shoulder? Like,
I didn't know how to react because I had like 3 people saying that
Yeah.
was like the best sushi. I'm like, I was like, yeah, it was pretty good, I guess.
it's the best sushi in the
I
area.
totally bring it. What I'll normally do is like, it's pretty good for this area. You know,
like diss on
For
the
this
state.
state.
Well, yeah.
Like,
you know, you can't do
Pretty
much
good
better
for
here.
some
but, like,
can't do much
plebeians.
better here, yeah.
God.
I'm still convinced.
if you guys ever come to visit my city, there is actually a really good sushi place here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be excited to take you guys.
Cool.
okay,
That's
sick.
actually
It's actually
really
the place
nice.
that I went with Carly. You can ask her about it.
Carly
I think
said
it is
that
pretty
place was
good.
pretty good, yeah. But
Wait, what? This is news to me.
did you not? Carly came and went and saw Sean on a business trip. Did you not hear about this?
No, it was, yeah. So she came to visit for like for a day for her business trip she was on, and I was like, "You're not doing anything. Like, I can take you to a couple places." And so one place we went to was a sushi spot that I thought was really good, and it's pretty unique. They do all Japanese import alcohol, as beers as well, and then the rolls and everything are actually super unique. Like, it's
Not traditional,
Oh.
but
but it's hard to describe because it's not necessarily traditional, but very different from what most American sushi is. You know, because there's no like California roll. You know, it's like
Yeah,
there are actually a lot of different types of fish. There's a ton of daily specials. I got a
That's
couple
cool.
of those.
yeah, that's cool.
It's not cheap, the place, but
yeah.
Yeah.
you know, being landlocked and everything, it's
That makes it
I
tough.
feel it's as much as you can do.
Well, they're
That makes
probably
it tough.
flying it in like
Yeah.
a frozen on a plane. So
or it's not, or they drive it like, alive and
Yeah.
then
oh
kill it
yeah,
there, which could be more expensive. So I don't know, but it is pretty good. So if you guys are ever in the area,
Yeah, we'll definitely
go.
go. I'm down. I'm ready.
Yep.
But yeah,
I'm ready.
I'm still convinced in my city there's better sushi. I don't know. It was kind
you
of
can
weird.
find it. You should be able to. I mean, it's big enough where you can have something.
Yeah, like
you need
something
to find
that's
someone like
quite good.
trustworthy, right? Who's
Yeah.
not like who's like experienced and like been to Japan or like been outside the
Yeah.
US and be like, oh, this is actually
find
really good sushi.
Here's a pro tip: find someone who's moved there from California,
Yeah, who actually
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
like
because they
good
will not. They'll be like,
multicultural
nah. Tell you what, this is what's quality.
Yeah, I know what's quality, and it'll probably be somewhere that's not like. The weird thing in my city too is these sushi spots are so done up. Like, oh, it's like this. It looks like a $3 sign restaurant. You know, it looks really eclectic or really,
Really?
like special.
Yeah, really
Like,
fancy.
fancy. It looks fancy. I don't know why I had to use so many words to describe fancy, but it's like good sushi spots don't have to be fancy. It's just like
Yeah.
they're just sushi, and it can be cheap. It doesn't
Dude,
have
the
to
best
be
ones are the
expensive.
holes in the wall. Are you kidding?
Yeah, usually.
So that's across the board. Any kind of food, it's the hole in the wall
It's
you go to.
usually the hole in the wall.
It's just quality.
Yeah.
Carly and I live next to
the
a.
thing that
Oh, sorry. Carl and I live next to a neighborhood, and it's like kind of more grungy. It's like south of where we live, and like no one goes there. But I found like 4 Asian restaurants, and I'm like, I guarantee some of that's really good. One of these is going to be a slam dunk. So
Yeah.
yeah.
the place I went with Carly is it's not like you can't call ahead and reserve. I don't think. And when we went, it opened at I think 5:30. Let's say. So we got there. We got to the area early, so it's like, well, we can't go because it's closed. So we hung out in another area and then walked back to it. And we got there like at 5:45, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So 15 minutes after they opened. Already like an hour and a half wait.
Really? That is absurd.
It was really, it's really popular. And I knew that.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd time it better. So we just, hung out at a bar.
Had to
until,
wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
But it was like
massive.
one of those things where if it's a restaurant that's so popular because it's good, but it's also like an underground place that makes it even harder,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is it like fairly small, or is it?
It seats maybe 50 max, 40 to 50 max. So
that's
it's fairly
pretty small.
small.
That's decent.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah, shit. I'll have to check it out. You have to text me the name of it.
I will.
Yep. We'll have to go visit Sean. Now I can go visit Sean for like not that much money because I'm a little closer to him now. So
Yeah.
we were talking about this, and it's like still ridiculous for me. I don't know how you got that cheap.
Well,
of a
flights
flight.
are also super expensive right now, just in general.
yeah. I don't like that. We got to get you over here, Mike.
flight, yeah, my flight was like it was going to be, $400, $500.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's
So
like that's
much.
too much.
This
That
is
sucks.
ridiculous. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck? How is it this expensive? And this is inside the U.S. too. It's not like I'm flying overseas.
Yeah.
So
Like
I
that
guess
flight for you should be like 250.
That's
maybe
what I would think. Yeah.
That's about the max. I'm honestly sorry, guys. This is the max I'm willing to pay at this point.
Yeah, I
right
don't blame
now.
you.
Yeah.
I feel like you could find it though. I've flown out of your airport, Mike, and I've gotten flights for that cheap. But again, the timelines we're looking at, it might have to be pushed like a week or two back, and then
I
you'd
think
be
it
able
is
to find
actually
it.
peak travel time. It's like pretty nice.
No,
Yeah.
peak travel time's right before. So like school's already started by this point, right? It's it's September. So college kids and normal kids are back in school and
Normal
doing
kids.
their thing. Normal kids. I was
Normal
like
kids.
college kids, and I was like, wait, like yeah.
The college kids and the plebes.
And the
plebes.
other kids are just like back in school, so it's like, all right, but yeah, I don't know. It is ridiculous.
I think it's just
all
all expensive right now. I think it's just unfortunate.
Hey,
But
I found a flight for you for $250 on the weekend we were thinking of, Mike. But
You have to send that to me because it's probably with like Frontier or Spirit.
it is with
For
Frontier.
the bag fees.
But see,
Yeah,
don't bring it.
that's the same. That's the same one.
can you take a
Let's talk
personal
about-
item with Frontier?
Yeah, you can take a free personal item.
but it's like a purse. It's like something super tiny. They're
I
limited size.
I was able to bring a backpack. I fit a backpack into the personal item space.
You did? Okay.
Yeah,
If it's
yeah.
You
that,
just crunch it down. It
yeah,
fits.
yeah. Just bring a small. If you brought a backpack with like 2 or 3 sets of clothes, you'd be good. We would take care of everything else here.
Yeah,
All
like
right.
I'd just bring a duffel bag, but it folds so small, like
Yeah.
yeah.
because what I put in it is nothing,
All right, I could. All right, if we're still good on that, Sean, did you get tickets?
No, I didn't. What weekend were we thinking of?
The 23rd, or I actually have this for the 22nd to the 25th, since Mike
Oh,
was.
that's a Thursday.
Well, Mike, you were saying you might wanted to fly out on Thursday.
I was going to fly out Thursday, and then we could hang out. Like I would just do whatever, or I would either fly out Thursday or I would fly out like early Friday, because that flight, I think the Friday flight was like at like, we can cut this from the podcast if you want to, but
Yeah.
I'm fine.
this is
I was just trying to pressure Mike
that
to
flight,
come visit us.
The flight was like 9. It was like right at 9 p.m. I'm like, fuck. I don't think I'd want to like go out after that because we gotta hang out.
I'd
like,
be
Friday
arriving
and
at
Saturday.
7-ish, 7 to 8.
Yeah,
is
but like
perfect to
mine
me.
would arrive at 9.
Yeah,
so
that's a
it'd be
bit
like
much.
it's like
You'd
all
be
right.
just a little bit later, yeah, and you wouldn't get in
Shoot,
until like
I
10 or
found
11.
better flights right now than I did before.
You just
Well,
book
shit.
it. Honestly, Sean, you're at like the rate where you could get here in $80. It's like you could probably somehow save money if we all
But
split
I'll
it.
tell you,
cheaper- it'd be cheaper than
those
driving.
ones for $80 though are like the worst times.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
I like it'd be leaving at like 5 in the morning, on Friday.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
okay.
know.
That's fair. That's
I
fair.
have-
But you also
right now
you can take
two-
a train to the airport though, or a light rail to the airport, which is nice.
Uh,
And you can
well,
take
I
a
mean,
light
for me,
rail
I
to
work
my city.
10 minutes from the airport, so I would just Uber to the airport and leave my car at work.
Oh, that works too. Yeah.
So what I would do, like my flights would be 6 o'clock, 5 or 6 o'clock, departing time on Friday, and then I'd return like 8:20 on Sunday, and I have that right now for like $275, which is what I would do, and that's with Alaska, I think.
Alaska Air. What are they doing flying to our two cities?
Or is it America?
Yeah,
Or
that's a really
United.
weird. Frontier is
Oh,
like
it's United,
Frontier.
United,
The hub
sorry.
is that city. So I'm like, all right, cool. But
United actually is the time.
oh yeah, all right, yeah. I'll look into it. And
Yeah, look into it, my dude.
And are you still good? Like even if I tell you like tomorrow, since tomorrow is your birthday.
Oh, that'd be a great birthday present for me. Oh, I'm coming over.
I'm coming over, Colton.
Maybe I can give you. I could sponsor your birthday, Mike, by giving you like $100 to fly.
No.
That's
Yeah, right. That's my gift to you.
yeah.
Yeah, my gift to you is me. Your gift to me
Yeah.
is money.
Yeah, I am the gift.
As long as this price
with like
hasn't changed,
with a little like a bow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
as
like
long
one
as
of
this
those
price doesn't
cheap
change
sticky
tomorrow,
bows.
I would book it.
Yeah.
All right.
I say look into it. Either way, it's fine. If we want to wait till October too, it's also kind of fine. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be roughly the same price in October for me, from what I saw.
Yeah. No, I was looking at the prices. It's the same across the board. It's a little cheaper
Yeah.
in October, but not by much. It's ridiculous though. And then I also looked at ones we talked about O'Hare, and honestly, it's not worth it. The gas prices, it was like $100 difference.
Dang, it's the
differences.
reality of having friends in other states.
Right.
hey, good excuse to travel
Dude,
though.
imagine if you'd gotten
Yeah.
to Ireland.
Oh my God!
Before
Can you
pandemic.
imagine? It would
like,
have been crazy.
that
I
would
mean, it
have
would
been
have been
nuts.
awesome because we could have just like, hey, let's just spend a week in Europe, and
Yeah,
you'll
but it
just be
makes
like,
it even
oh,
harder,
yeah.
like money wise and time wise. And
Can you imagine what the
money-wise,
podcast
definitely,
would be
yeah.
like if you moved to Ireland though? Like,
Oh,
Wow, what now?
jeez, because it'd be
Podcast-
the opposite. Because
It would-
we'd be doing it super. We'd have to do it super. Like the time frame would be ridiculous.
yeah, you and I.
I
would
mean,
have
it might
to do
not
early
even
Monday.
have happened because we
Yeah.
started the podcast after that was a whole thing, So
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
we might have been like, it's not possible.
yeah. It's not gonna
Yeah.
work out, but now it is a thing. And then if you do
I think
go to
it was.
Ireland,
I think not going to Ireland was good. Like that.
Yeah. I mean, you've got a great job. You've got, make good money. Freedom and all that goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been really cool, but like,
Yeah.
I think silver lining is it. I'm in a better position career wise now.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
and a lot of stuff has happened the last couple of years that I would have missed out on.
Mm-hmm.
had I
Absolutely.
been in
That's true.
Ireland. So it's been good.
do you feel like you would?
Although Ireland is still hopping. It's actually crazy. So when I was over at in Czech Republic, a lot of my uncle's wife's family live in Ireland, even though they're Czech, is because just the job opportunities there. Like it's a growing economy,
Interesting.
and that it's actually like supposedly fairly good, and a great place to move to. So, especially if you have a family.
Safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's
Yeah.
Do you think,
Crazy, right?
do you think you'd still be there, Sean, if you went to Ireland like those 3 years ago, or do you think you'd actually would come back? I guess it's kind of hard to tell. You don't know how you'd be.
It depends if I found a good job or not.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I might have just run out of money and come back home.
yeah. It's like the jobs
Yeah.
here do not pay well, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or I think it would be cost of living, right? Because cost of living where you're at is fairly high, but I feel
I
like
mean,
it'd be
if I found a
higher.
good job, then I probably would have stayed.
Yeah.
Like, because that's the big barrier. It's like, well, if I can work there and survive, then I feel like I'd like it there a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it also depends on the food. Like, if the food sucked,
Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
well.
I mean, it's global anyway, so you'll
But
probably find a
I would
sushi
be
joint
traveling
there.
more regardless, though, because I'd be traveling all over Europe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it'd
and
be
it'd
super
So,
be
easy
like
I would've liked-
it'd be
liked that too.
$80 or less than $100 to fly anywhere, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But-
Well, I mean, yeah. Like I said, I think it's silver lining that it ended up failing. That
Yeah.
and failing, the silver lining is I'm better off now
Yeah.
than I was. So
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting. Yeah, it's like,
you have all sorts of things like that throughout life. I think.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I could have done that, and I'd be in a completely different environment, but whether or not that's good or bad
Yeah,
Right.
I think
is
gotta
really
keep
no
moving
use
forward.
thinking about, really.
yeah, I feel like you've got
you gotta be like Aaron, man. You gotta keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I have actually a book, a little like book that's like the art of Zen, something like that, and it's like this guy talking about several things to achieve
Nirvana.
like a Zen-like state. Not nirvana, no, just being like at peace, And
Yeah.
one of the things that they said that I think back on a lot of times is that what happened in whatever event happens is the best way that it could have happened. Whether or not you feel like that, thinking that that is the case, you generally are more at peace with what happens,
Yeah.
which I think is very true. So like
Yeah.
you just convince yourself, oh, well, that was the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah, although
That
I do
situation
feel,
unfolded the best way it could have
Yeah.
happened.
Although I do feel like there's a second, like the counterpoint to that would be, make sure to learn from those situations though, because like I feel like if it's like, oh, it worked out in the best way, then it doesn't make you learn as much
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily.
from that. Yeah,
I think it's just more about a state of mind rather than
yeah,
um
like a
what actually
self-development kind of thing.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like looking forward and not looking back is a big one. Like I feel like if you're too caught up,
absolutely.
this is like communist meta. This is like what all the communists want to tell you, and I keep like thinking about this.
Really?
and it's like, well, no. Sometimes it's just like when you have a choice. Like when I was looking at my jobs and I was having a choice. Like having a choice sometimes just makes you more unhappy than if you just had one option. Like when
see
you
what
have
you're
big
saying.
choices in life. This is kind of maybe diverting into a different path, but like when you have
Yeah.
a choice to impact those things, like Sean, you kind of had this goal and it just kind of got wrecked by COVID. You're like, all right, fine, I'll
Yeah,
do
yeah.
something else. But like for me, I had like choices of different jobs, and I feel like just always looking forward and not looking back helps
Yeah.
you.
Well, there's
you
definitely-
shouldn't have regrets about that. You kind of
Yeah.
made the best decision you
Yeah.
could.
Yeah.
So
Well, there's definitely a point of like analysis paralysis, right? I mean,
Yeah.
personally, that's something I run
Ooh,
into a
that's a
lot because
term.
I'm the type of person who is like overthinks things quite a bit, as you guys know, and I like tend to get into like try to like weigh my options, cost benefit, everything like that, right? And just moving forward with something that you go with your gut usually tends to be the right answer.
Gut is like so good. Honestly, gut is like when I made decisions, like tough decisions, like really tough decisions with my gut, I feel like I've always been pretty happy about it. Like with the two jobs I had, my gut was going with the job I was going with, like I have now, even though it wasn't the best option, I think financially, but I think I'm going to be pretty happy with it. And I really do like, the team, the environment, the work from home, like
And the
crazy
culture.
flexibility
Yeah.
where I could just like work at 10 p.m. and nobody really cares. I don't know.
That's cool.
It's probably going to be it was the best option, I think, in the end.
Yeah,
I think
I
if
know
you go
you're
with your gut,
definitely.
you're generally more satisfied,
Yeah.
Even if it was the wrong decision, you're like, well, I felt good making it. So it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
comfortable
yours
with
to
it,
make.
yeah.
That was another one. I was like, I'm bad where I also come to analysis, what you said,
Analysis
paralysis.
paralysis.
Analysis paralysis. And sometimes I want to just, I meme about it, but I want to like flip a coin, which is honestly the worst idea. Because
Yeah.
Well, do you have you heard of the thing where if you flip a coin, like you a big decision, you're right?
Yeah,
Heads
yeah.
one, tails the other. You flip a coin, and it lands in whatever it is. Like it's a good way to learn what your gut feeling is because let's say heads is the current job, Colton,
Yeah.
and tails is another job.
yeah.
It comes up tails, and you go, oh man, that means you wanted the other job, so then you should take that one. Like
Yeah, but like the thing is, I feel like I think you've told me this before, Sean, and I've tried doing that, but I'm just like, I'm so wishy-washy. I don't know. I'm like, oh yeah, that could be cool, but this other one's pretty cool too, and I almost get more confused. And honestly, I'm eliminating
Yeah.
the coin flip at all from all future decisions.
I feel I
to be fair-
overthink things quite a bit too.
Yeah. Oh,
But I
feel-
also,
feel
like-
you're pretty good about it. You're fairly decisive. I feel like of the three of us, you're the most decisive because you're
Well,
like,
I'm only
all right,
decisive because I'm lazy. Like
You don't want to spend the energy.
I feel that, yeah.
I overthink so much. I mean, I overthink everything usually, especially conversations. I overthink talking.
You do that
so much, but like,
yeah.
if I have an instance where has a hard decision, it's like I had this with my job, like with my current job about moving out of my out of state, or searching for apartments. I'm like, I spent a week, figuring it out, and after that, I'm just like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I
Screw it.
I just want to pick something so I can be done with this. It's I get so annoyed having to.
So it's not so much
think too
laziness; it's just annoyance. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Well, you can say that's lazy too, because you're like, I couldn't care. I couldn't care less to keep thinking about it. It's so it's just too much. Like, and that defaults to my other state where it's just like, I don't want to worry about things. So
yeah,
if I'm worrying about it too much, then I do the hard 180 to just pick something, and then
and then it works out.
Go with my gut, and then it works out usually.
Yeah, gut is like such a good indicator. I don't know. Because
but you're not you're a fairly intuitive type person.
What does that mean?
As in, like, so like you have like you're familiar with the personality type quizzes, right?
There's a bunch of them, right?
Like the intuitive, yeah. I prefer Big Five, but there's like the Myers-Briggs or whatever.
Yeah,
and you have like the intuitive.
Okay, I think I've heard of these. Yeah,
like
there's like you get like a 4-letter
intuitive
assignment
or logical. And then, or is intuitive and,
it's like feelings and intuitive or something.
Yeah,
I thought
no, because that's like kind of the same.
I just see a lot of memes about the INFJ.
Yeah, the 4 letters.
I don't know what that means though. I don't know if I'm that or what that means.
Yeah, Mike suggested this. We should all take one of these personality quizzes and then talk to each other about it in an episode.
Send me one. I'll take it. I don't like looking for them, but
you don't do just one. You got to do like 3.
Okay, well, send it to me and I'll do it.
All right, I will. Yeah, Myers-Briggs is a good one. We'll do Big 5, and we'll do your star signs, your astrology.
Oh God, dear God!
That'd be kind of funny.
That would actually be kind of funny.
It would be kind of funny. Yeah.
You mean it's real?
No, in reality, no. I would do I like Big 5 because it's scalar more so than Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs breaks your personalities down into 16 types. And
what is scalar?
Obviously, don't scalar as in like percentile. So it's
it'll like you're a 5 out of 10 on this, or like a 6 out of 10
or like
on
you're like 95% X, or like Big 5 is the ocean. So openness. That's the acronym for it.
Yeah,
it's openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism.
Yeah.
So that's
a good
scaling
one.
all of those.
You're not if you're very neurotic, or if you're not very neurotic, if you're highly open, or if you're not open. Like, you'd be high in openness, I think, because you like new things, which is basically openness.
That's what open means? Okay.
Yeah. Conscientiousness is like neatness or tidiness.
Heck yeah. That's
we have to see. You have to see if you actually rank. I actually think Ocean.
Yeah. What if it says like I'm just this lazy slob?
You've been living a lie, then, Sean. You just gotta unleash your real self.
Interesting.
I think Ocean has ranked me really well. That did the best at ranking me, because my old internships, I had to take like the 3 or whatever, the big ones.
Did you take a disc too? Because that's like the business one.
Maybe.
What's a disc?
Actually, disc is the good third one. So disc is, it's 4 categories, and it's a scalar system. So percentile, and it's basically, are you it's like how you operate in a business environment. So dominance. What's the C one? Because it's an acronym again. So dominance, influencer. S is I forget what S stands for, but it's like harmony and group harmony. Like, and then the C is all about. I also forget what it is, but C is all about like graphs and data and
like data driven stuff. Okay.
Yeah, you know a lot about these personality tests.
Well, I've taken, I took Psych 101 back in college. So we
basically
I did
too.
We did all of these. Did you?
Yeah, I did Psych 101. That was a
Then
fun
you
class.
then you took an ocean test because I mean
I don't
my prof
remember.
did. Yeah,
Huh.
I think I took it twice actually. But yes,
So long ago.
I think they're really interesting.
so long ago. It was like 3 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
4 years ago, maybe.
You
4 years ago. That's a long time.
You'd probably rank differently anyways now, though, because you've probably changed.
Yeah.
it's
We've all
probably
changed
different.
as people.
I'd probably be pretty similar.
You think so? I feel like I've changed so much since college, honestly. I feel like my priorities are way different now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've changed that much, but maybe like I'm 15 to 25% different.
15.
15% different. I,
feel
like that, yeah.
I feel like career-wise,
What-
I'm way different. Like I was like, I love engineering. I love mechanical engineering. It's like if I like just the work is cool, I don't care. Like I love it. And now I'm just like, I like engineering, but I really didn't like my old job, and I really care more about other experiences. Like I used to think other experiences are really good to have. You shouldn't sacrifice them, but the job is like the job. You want to love your job, and now I'm just like, I want to like my job. I want to like the people on my team, but experiences are way more important to me.
You're talking about experiences outside of work.
Yeah, outside experiences like traveling or meeting new people. I used to like not give a shit about meeting people usually. Now I actually want to make more connections like in life just because it's more it's interesting to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think we'd all score really high in openness because that's all like on Ocean. Openness is all about new things, like new experiences all the time, right? And it's like basically 100%
I wouldn't
openness
say
is
I want to have new
ADHD.
experiences all the time. Like,
ADHD.
Like I'm 95 or 100% openness. Like I am extremely I scored in like the fifth percentile in openness because
that's so weird to me.
I need new stuff all the time. Yeah, it is funny, right? But
because there's some things like to me, if you were that, then you would also care about experiencing things in quality nature, but you don't, which means it doesn't make sense to me.
It's more about it's difference. It's I don't really care too much about. It's almost the opposite. I don't know.
What?
It's not about. It's about just like new experiences. It doesn't have to be constrained to like one thing.
It doesn't have to. They don't have to be extremely high quality. It can just be like I just want new experiences.
Or I want to try meth. You know.
maybe let's go that far. I'll hold off. I'll hold off on the meth.
Yeah.
But
that keeps it 95%.
Yeah, right. That's it, exactly. That's where the 95% comes in.
Yeah.
Because I would define that differently, like than just straight up openness.
Yeah.
But
openness.
I would need to take I need to take the quiz, I guess.
Yeah, and read their definitions too. Like they have specific definitions for you.
But I can't wait for that. Yeah, maybe next time around, that can be my next topic.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Send stuff and I'll take it.
And I do think we should do the astrology one too, just to see if that comically
just
lines
for shits
up
and giggles?
at all.
All right, let's do it.
If that does, I'll be so mad.
Sometimes it's weirdly accurate, but it's just so vague enough.
How
that
into
it is.
astrology is Carly, or she's not?
No, Carly's not into astrology. The only person that I've not known a lot of people that are really into astrology. At all, actually.
I know someone that's really into astrology.
Well, I think I know that same person, right? Do we all know that person?
Maybe.
Do they want to be named?
Yeah, you guys both know her.
Do they want to be named in this podcast? Does it matter?
No, we can
just keep it out.
Yeah. She might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
actually, that'd be a cool guest to have on is during that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'll talk to her, see what she thinks.
Yeah. All right. But with that, let's actually intro this podcast
the
for
full
once.
intro. Yeah, we kind of got off on a rail there. Honestly, I was not expecting
we were just
that.
going. It was just stream of consciousness. But
Quality.
welcome to Almost a Podcast. Today, your host is yours truly, Mike, the main man, Mike, and I got my two boys here, Colt Man and Sean Boy.
Hi.
Yes, I am Colton.
Nope, that's not right. I am Colton.
You're pulling a Colton there, dude.
My openness is high today.
My openness is high.
I am a rising Aquarius.
Rising.
What?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means
That's
either.
supposed to be an astrology
Try
sign.
working together.
Throw some stuff there. But today, we totally sidetracked in the kind of beginning of this. But actually, I was hoping to talk to you guys mostly about what your thoughts are on a lot of the new media coming out, because I feel like this like month has been packed full
This
of
season,
so much new
like,
stuff.
Last couple months, yeah.
Yeah. Marvel. And this is not just like anime. This is like Marvel and normie TV shows.
Normie.
Did you guys see? They announced a new National Treasure TV show.
Really?
Excuse
Is
me,
it with
what?
Nick Cage?
I don't know if he's not in it. It's gonna be shocking, but it's like this group of young adults, older adults. I can't really tell their age.
Like
But they-
30 or something.
They seem like between the ages of 20 to 30.
Okay.
And they're like trying to find something, it's like some secret thing
If
puzzle
there's
stuff.
no Nick Cage, or at least as a cameo, I'm going to be extremely disappointed.
Yo, I would
Yeah, me
love
too.
Nick Cage to be the villain. Like, he comes in. It was me all along trying
that
to take.
would be sweet.
That'd be sick.
Apparently it's a two-part show thing that will be in December.
Okay. I might watch it. That sounds interesting. I really actually liked the movies. So I'll probably
Yeah,
try
I
it.
just watched the Book of Secrets the other day.
Yeah.
I
They're-
really
they're
like the
ridiculous.
movies.
Yeah. I love the first one.
I love like the hidden meaning in everything type scenario.
Did you ever read
know?
Dan Brown or watch like Angels and Demons or Da Vinci Code?
I've watched, yes.
Yeah. Da Vinci Code was good. I like that too.
Those both are extremely good.
Yeah, I love like this letter turned this way means this thing which unlocks the clue. Like, I love that
So
stuff.
good,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a giant puzzle.
National Treasure is big for me.
Yeah.
Even though I suck at them personally, like I would never figure any of that out.
Yeah, I couldn't
No?
make it.
Have you ever done like an escape room or anything like that?
Yeah, those are fun, but like, I just feel if I was on the problem is like Nicolas Cage or wait, actually, what's his? I just call him Nick Cage in the movies. What's his
actual
character
name? I don't know.
I don't know.
I
He's
have
just
no
Nick
idea.
Cage.
Not Ethan.
Jack.
Regardless, Nick Cage, the character he plays, just knows random trivia.
Yeah, he's
That's
so
the part
good
I'll
at
never
trivia.
have.
Yeah.
I can't connect the dots because I don't have any of the dots.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no dots
Yeah, I
available
don't
for
know.
me.
But like, are you like a history nerd?
No,
Okay.
I wish
I guess I'm
was.
the only one here who's a total history nerd because
I'm
that's
not.
like the
I
one
was like-
thing is I'm like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Not so much, honestly, not so much U.S., but like fairly world stuff. I love history, man. Dude, like half of the stuff I watch on YouTube is just like history documentaries.
really.
I'll throw one on and then put like my headphones in and just listen to it. Like you were talking the other day about like watching Critical Role, like when you're like kind of going to bed, like just chilling out or listening to it. Speaking of, did you see the most recent one? Are you caught up?
No, I'm like I'm like not even on campaign 3.
Oh, okay, all right. But it was ridiculous. So that was a sidetrack thing. I just
Are you
randomly
watching it though, or are you just like the
I
clip it's again?
randomly no, I just got in my recommended the active stream on YouTube, and I was like, oh, cool, I'll check it out. And I was like, what am I jumping into right now? So it just to say it's a crazy moment. But
I'm probably another year away from seeing that episode.
yeah,
so.
yeah, good to know. So you won't care about me like just talking about it right now. But yeah,
No, I will. I don't want to know.
Oh, I won't. I'm not going to spoil it. Don't worry. I know how you are. But back to Nick Cage is.
Okay.
Yeah, like history. It's just like, oh, I'll listen to this stuff. But
Yeah.
I love-
What I am big
bar
on
trivia.
is fake history.
You want history like fate history?
No, sorry, fictional history.
like historical fiction or like fake history of like Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or something like that.
Yeah,
Like
or like
lore.
the Halo,
Lore.
what happened
Oh,
during
yeah.
the war of between the Covenant and
Yeah,
like,
the humans.
or the four, like that stuff is I'm good. I like learning about that.
Lore master.
So-
Oh, you
Do
like
our own
like
history.
the lore of other worlds of just stuff that
Yes.
isn't real.
Yeah.
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 Says the Isekai King of this podcast.
Of this podcast.
True.
Makes sense.
I actually read something recently about Avatar: Last Airbender. That said, there's like this theory that the Airbenders are like pacifists because airbending is the most deadly of all.
oh yeah,
bending
where they can
styles.
like suck out the air. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
which they really played on in Korra, but it's one of those things that you think about in hindsight, and you think, wow, they are nomads or pacifists, probably for a good reason. Like, had they done anything to fight back, they would have lost or totally just won the war.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could
the
suck out all
firebenders
the
would-
oxygen from the fires and stuff. Yeah.
Which, I mean,
But-
we showed, like, when Monk Gyatso was, like, all the dead firebenders were dead around him. He
Yeah.
obviously took him out somehow. Broke
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably just sucked out all the air in the room.
coulda.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. Like,
But-
in Korra, 3 kids produced, like, a hurricane.
Yeah, that's
If you
pretty wild.
if you multiply that by experienced airbenders, like, you could just obliterate everybody.
yeah.
But back to the topic at hand, I do want to talk about, so specifically Game of Thrones, or House of the Dragon. And
Are we all caught up? Are we all watching?
I have not seen any of it, and I'm
Oh shit!
Oh.
I'm like, I mean, look, I kind of want to see it because I like the idea of having a fresh start to the series.
But have you watched Game of Thrones?
I haven't, but I don't need to.
Okay.
Right? I don't. I just won't get all the Easter egg stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah.
No, House of the Dragon, you can appreciate it without it, and then also Rings of Power, because I feel like we've gotten to that. It's like doing anime. It's the 3rd episode mark, so you can kind of like gauge the series. Also, have you seen She-Hulk?
I saw the first episode and I haven't seen the rest, but I intend to watch more.
Okay.
Okay.
I need to ask this. So this Rings of Fire, Rings of Fury,
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. So Lord of the Rings. I actually have never heard of it until like you guys just brought it up.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
What is it again?
It's Amazon's $billion show that
Have you
they're-
seen Lord of the Rings? Well, you actually haven't seen
Yeah.
most of Lord of the Rings.
I haven't, and
We
I need to.
We finished.
I
It was
need
2
to.
towers, right? Half
So
of
you're
2
you're
towers.
aware in
Yes.
Lord of the Rings how there were rings that were forged,
Yes. Yes.
then given to the various people. This show is about, well, I mean, not yet, but about the creation of those rings,
So it's way in the past of
Yeah.
the
like
movies.
way in the past.
It's like 3,000, 4,000 years in the past.
Is it? So it is good. It's like starting out pretty good.
It's really good.
Oh.
Oh, see,
Sick.
really? I'm like, well, I'm also so of the 3 of us, I am the most Tolkienian.
Yes.
The biggest.
You're a Tolkienite.
Tolkien fanboy. Yeah, like I have not read all of the Silmarillion, but I've read portions of it because it's kind of like a, yeah.
Just
It's like
knowing
reads-
that word.
It's
should
reading.
give
It's
you
reading
enough
the
of
Bible.
a-
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that the Bible just for fake history?
It's basically
a
like
fake history Bible.
It's yeah, it can be a little bit of a tough read, not gonna lie. But and so like there's a lot of things that like it's kind of like when you like a nerd gets. I have a little bit of nerd rage with it, and some things also just in the
Are they
the
getting
story
like
structure
small things
itself.
wrong and stuff, or
Well, the main thing is that everything in so we'll talk about Lord of the Rings first because
yeah.
I have
I
probably
want to know.
most
I want to know.
fury
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this,
yeah.
but with Lord of the Rings, the timeline is really shrunk, right? The whole history of these rings takes place over millennia in the actual
Oh.
stories, right?
interesting?
Whereas the show is going to probably shorten it down to the age of a man or a Newman a Dunedain man, so 100 years, something like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, they haven't even started forging the rings. Like, they barely built the furnace.
I haven't done that, right?
Yeah,
Like,
like they're like, let's think about building this big thing. Like that's where
Yep.
they're at, and it's
Let's
3
think about
episodes
building
in,
the forge.
which is like 3 to 4 hours into this show.
Yeah, but I mean, we've definitely gotten the settings in, right?
Yeah.
We've got Numenor, which was awesome. I was actually really glad to see. Like that was one thing I was super excited about was Numenor, which is in the history of Middle Earth. Well, I don't know if it counts as Middle Earth. It's basically, if you want, Sean, do you want backstory on this? Do you guys care?
That might be too deep.
Yeah.
Okay.
For our
For
audience,
basically-
maybe. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. Big battle in the past. Men who helped out in that battle get gifted this giant island that they can live on.
The elves
And-
gifted it to them.
Well, more like the Greek gods of the Tolkien universe. Basically
Really?
created the island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so they were like, "All right, here's an awesome island," and then they also were gifted with extremely long life, like 300 years or something like that.
Oh, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
After because they just went to this island in the latest episode, and well, first I gotta say what I'm most loving about this show is just the cityscapes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do panning shots of these like amazing cities,
dude,
and it's
yeah,
just
Numenor
stunning.
was gorgeous. Yep.
The elven cities, the Numenor, like the human cities, they don't have anything yet, but like everything else is just so good looking. Like I can just imagine the person who spent hundreds of hours building everything in these like CG shots that are panning.
Oh, yeah, the entire team dedicated. I mean, they did spend $1 billion on this. So
$1 billion.
Yeah.
It's like
to do like an 8-part TV show.
It's a ridiculous amount of money.
Well, to be fair, they basically paid $1 billion to do 8 movies because they're movie level quality.
Are they movie level length as well?
About an hour, so not a full feature length film, but
but that quality's
that's 8 hours for the full thing.
Yeah, and also when you think about Game of Thrones, right? That was almost $1 billion at the end of it. Like the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones were $100 million.
Yeah,
but it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the scale is impressive. The CGI is awesome, and I'm also really glad they have orcs back. As instead of like the CGI orcs that they actually have real people. A really cool. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, they're doing
this,
a good mix of practical.
Yeah, a really cool Easter egg I found out reading up on it is that. Do you remember from the Two Towers? The one. Remember when the orcs and the Uruk-hai with Merry and Pippin like meet up, and like they've got Merry and Pippin captured, and the orcs run into the Uruk-hai, and they're fighting it out. Well, like it's like the same actor for one of like the main orcs in that is in this. And it's like one of the orcs arguing. I thought it was really cool, and you can tell too when you look at it. I was like, this guy's voice seems very familiar. And then I looked it up, and it's actually the exact same guy. Like he's doing the same. But yeah, it's really awesome to see the practical.
Show well enough to get that. But I will get things occasionally. Like this is a side tangent, but I was watching Push last night, which is this kind of neat, very cult classic movie. It's just a niche movie about like psychics and like
it's got
telekinesis.
It's got Captain America in it, right?
That's what I was gonna say. I realized after rewatching it, it had Chris Evans in it. I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
it's like, huh?
I recognized his voice first.
And who's the bad guy? Isn't it Nick?
He just looks like nowadays, he's like he's big dude. But in this movie, he's just this regular guy.
Oh, really?
It was weird to see him like that.
That's pretty funny. Cool.
It was way before Avengers or anything like that.
Gotcha.
Yes, but you said talking about like getting little things.
Yeah, I just like noticing voices or actors or things like that.
Yeah,
I'm terrible.
Which I do enjoy if I know some history, but I did not catch it because I don't know the Two Towers that well enough.
Yeah,
that's a pretty niche one. That's a pretty niche one.
Yeah, it is very niche.
Yeah.
But I've also watched the 2 hours a lot. So
yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think it's all right. What are your thoughts on the story, Sean? Like so far?
I like the story. I think it's slow, but you also, like you're saying, originally it takes place over a millennia. Like it's impossible to do that in a show. It's like when you're converting a light novel in anime to an anime. It's just you're gonna lose things, but I think what they're doing is pretty good for what it is. Like I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Yeah. Also, it's like converting a Bible like parable or like story, right? Like very different structure to like a story, I guess. I'm trying to describe it. Maybe not the Bible, but so the Silmarillion isn't told like it's told more of like a from like an orator perspective versus like a like this very intricate story like the Lord of the Rings is, right? So it's a bit different. It's hard to describe. Plus, they don't have rights to the Silmarillion. They only have rights to the appendices of Lord of the Rings. So it's like
That's
basically
so weird. I don't understand how any of that works.
they have rights to the Lord of the Rings, and they have rights to the Spark Notes version of some of these stuff. Like I'm pretty sure they can't even like name certain like people by like names, right? They probably can't even use like Eru Iluvatar, which is essentially the god of Tolkien's universe.
That's so weird.
That's really weird. Kind of a bummer too that you can't like.
It's also not out of like Creative Commons yet. Like it's been forever since that was released. I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when. I forget when.
Public
they
domain.
published it.
That's what it's called. It hasn't entered
Public
public
domain,
domain yet.
Yeah, it's 70 years, right? So
70 years?
Seems like it's almost been that long.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. I think it's a good story. It looks amazing. And to me, as just like a general fan, it's fun to be back in the universe and seeing things and talking about stuff. And they go, "Oh, I've heard of that before. That's cool."
That's neat.
Yeah, right.
So
Little Easter egg kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, as long as the acting isn't bad and it doesn't look bad, I'm usually going to enjoy it. And both of those are pretty top notch in this.
I don't know. Acting's pretty great. I don't know. I'm not a super huge fan of Galadriel right now.
Well, she's just a kid.
Well, actually, she's a kid, except she's like, at this point, Galadriel is like around her in the two trees, right? Which is like 10,000 years. So she's very old.
Yeah, no,
at this
she's
point.
for an elf, she's a kid. But like for us, she's an ancient, you know?
Also, funny story too is that she's actually, so like Elrond, right? So little Tolkien lore.
I like seeing Elrond because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, well, Elrond is the twin brother to Elros, which is basically the founder of Numenor and that stuff. He's like the first king. And
Yeah, they showed the painting in the league.
Galadriel's like the grandmother-in-law or something like that of Elrond. So it's not like they're like buddy friends. Like they're actually related, because I'm trying to remember who. There's like a connection. I think it's some of Elrond's like mother, grandmother. They're like she's like grandmother-in-law. She's married to like Elrond's grandmother's brother or something like that, I think.
That's deep.
What?
I'm never gonna learn that.
Yeah,
What I think is cool
Yeah.
about the whole thing is like, it's kind of unfair how long elves live, but at the same time, kind of cool. I think there was a line in the show that she was talking to a human, and the human's like, "Why don't you just let go of your hate towards the orcs?" And she's like, "It would take me longer than the rest of your life to recite the names of everyone I've lost to the orcs." And I was like, dang.
That's pretty. Yeah,
That's pretty.
That's really
fucked.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do the elves not
The
just
one guy-
completely overpopulate? If they live for 10,000 years, wouldn't their
Well, that's also the
population
thing,
just
like,
go crazy?
I think they have children very seldomly, yet at the same time, if they've lost so many people in the war, why are they still even a thing, you know? I don't know how that worked out. Like if they're having children is so low, yet they lost so many people in this war, they should be like on the brink of extinction, essentially.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll-
That's just postulation.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing in the
Don't really
text.
explain that. They're just
It
like,
explains,
you know.
like, yeah.
I was like, maybe
This
there's
is
some
just
sort of
people.
rule, like only between ages 250 and 500, or like 20. I don't know. Whatever.
Right,
I
yeah.
don't know. Like maybe there's some rule.
Elves
that
go
would-
through menopause at like age 500 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So I don't know.
It is interesting. My favorite character though right now is Elendil. He's just awesome.
Who's that?
The long-haired guy.
Oh, the guy they found at sea?
No, that's Halbrand. But Elendil is you met him in the third episode. He's like looking over
He's the captain of the
Galadriel.
guard?
Captain.
Oh, okay, he's the military guy. Okay.
Yeah, he's cool.
I guess the one tough thing about this show is there's so many names, and like I don't know
And they're all in a different language that was created.
That's so
Yeah.
tough. That's so tough.
Game of Thrones is the same way, or like the Dragon House, whatever.
Yeah.
They just throw these long names out. I'm like,
Like,
I can't
boy.
remember that.
Can I like short note that to like Dave or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. V.
Yeah.
That's why I usually just say like, oh, the person who did this thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know who
that
is.
one. That one.
That
yeah.
person, yeah. But you're yeah. Are you fairly good with names though?
American
Depends
names.
if they're in a made up Elven language or
If
not.
they're
Like,
a real person or not? Yeah.
like I like Colton said, I can remember Dave pretty easily, but
Well, there's a lot of
But-
Daves. There's very few
but-
Elendils.
Galadriel of the white forest, a third of her name.
It's like,
I don't,
it's like I can't even tell if it's a place,
much.
like what kind of noun it is. At
King
some
of the
point.
Rhoynar and the First Men.
You know what I did really like? I don't want to stick on Lord of the Rings too long because we have other stuff, but I really liked the dwarvish thing when he goes to meet his like dwarven friend, an elf goes to meet a dwarf,
Yeah.
which is pretty rare, and the dwarf's all mad at him because he wasn't there for so long. Because an elf is just like, oh, it's been 100 years. I mean, that's not
whatever.
And it was only like 20 years, and for Elrond, that's like. And Elrond at this point, I think, is like 500 or 600. He's fairly young, but still, yeah, it's like, it's a year for like.
Yes, the dwarf's all mad at him, but then the wife like invites him in, like, oh, come on in. And
I love, yeah,
it was pretty funny.
Also, I love their like their battle they had. It's like, well, okay, how are you gonna like prove yourself to me? We're gonna smash rocks together, dude, and down beer. That's like
such a dwarven thing to do, though.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Dwarves are like right here, man. They're cool. They're down to earth kind of people.
Yeah, in a way.
It's quite literally.
I thought they didn't find that stone thing until way later. The heart of the mountain.
They uncovered Mithril.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, because they're still in Moria. Moria is where Mithril is.
Because it didn't look like the Lonely Mountain, so I didn't think that was the thing.
Dude,
Mithril makes sense.
That blew me away. Like you're right about the cityscape, Sean. Holy, like, I'm talking about Moria now. Oh my gosh, it's so cool.
This is the Dwarven City. You gotta explain these things because no one knows what Moria is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Khazad-dûm, the Dwarven City, and it's just absolutely.
The they just
gorgeous.
Every episode has this long panning shot of a new city, and it's what I live for.
Man,
yeah,
that's cool.
It is.
That is cool.
And I'm trying to what's the name of the Elven city right outside there? It's
It looks very close to Rivendell, but it's not.
Yeah, but it's really cool. It's beautiful. Like everything.
If anything, Colton, just watch a show to see these cool
just like
cityscapes.
to see the CGI and the cool shit.
Just skip through just to see the panning shots.
Yeah.
Or just find some clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's probably there's gonna be a compilation at the end of this.
Oh, I gotta watch.
Shit, I'll probably make the compilation myself.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, I'd like to watch
Post
some
on
of
the
these.
channel.
Once I get through my own show, like some of these would be nice to keep up. I haven't watched this TV show as it airs in so long, and I've been able to talk about it.
What are you watching right now?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Are you watching Saul?
Watching Better Call Saul, finishing that up. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Man, there's
That's
a lot
on
of
the
stuff.
final season, right?
It's finished. Sean, or I just got the final season, or I've just started watching the final season. Sorry, and it's good. It's good. It's getting nuts. I don't know. Everyone's gonna die. Like everyone's just gonna it's terrible. Everyone's just.
Oh, is it one of those shows where people just die?
It isn't, but the writers are not afraid to kill off characters. So I'm pretty fearful for a handful. Like they're not looking good. They're not looking.
Yeah, I love that about shows, man.
Yeah,
because it's like real life. Just people just fucking die.
It makes it a bit more real. It's honestly why Attack on Titan's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they just kill people.
Yeah, I hope.
Oh, Sasha, man, it's just like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I hope there's some more big deaths. Actually, I don't, because I say that and then Levi almost died, and I was about to get so pissed off. I was like, come on. But I mean, it would make sense. It would make sense if Levi died at some point. It makes sense. Aaron or Mikasa or Armin or all of them are probably going to die at some point, which would be fair.
It should be fair.
I mean, yeah, Aaron kind of deserves to die, regardless of if he's saving the world or whatever. He should die, in my opinion, at the end.
I mean, you have the same thing with Game of Thrones, especially because they just don't care usually.
Yeah, but that they have good people just die. Like people get really cheated. Right?
Yeah.
Or
people
you have good
screwed.
characters, noble characters just get fucking iced.
Yeah,
I mean that's what made the show so popular.
Wins. Yeah, the bad guy wins a lot in Game of Thrones, right? Or he. Yeah.
Or the better player wins the game.
Do you like the new Game of Thrones, Michael?
I do. I like it more right now than Lord of the Rings, which I feel bad about. But obviously Lord of the Rings absolutely gorgeous, but it's really, I feel like there's a lot. It's going to sound bad. I feel like there's a lot more care put into the the little the little tiny things on the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I
side.
feel like, as much as I like both of them, I feel like Lord of the Rings right now is easier to digest than Game of Thrones.
I would agree with that.
There's less political maneuvering. It's it's more cut and dry. Whereas in Game of Thrones, it's like, oh, man, who's fighting who? What house is against what? How many dragons do we have left? Like, there's so many different small things that are just so.
Yeah.
How much time has passed? Like all this stuff.
And see, I'm living for that. I'm like, oh, this is like the nitty gritty.
And I really like it too. I do really like it, but it's just because of that, it's harder to digest.
Right. Yeah.
And you're like not in the right mental scape.
Yeah, you gotta be. I feel like you gotta be concentrated. Whereas, some shows, you don't need to be as like, listening to all those details.
Yeah, and like compared to something like Galadriel, I really like Rhaenyra. I think she's really cool.
She's the Targaryen princess, right?
Correct. Yeah, like she's the main character.
Yeah,
right?
I like her too. She's actually a good character.
Yeah, and I like. Yeah, we'll see where it goes because I don't know when. Like, I'm assuming there'll be like 8 to 10 episodes. I'm not 100% sure, but like we'll see when the time skip because they have 2 actors, right? So there's going to be like a big time jump. But
what I don't like about her though is she's still too young in the sense that she could be doing a lot more to better her position that she's not doing.
Yeah, she could be playing the Game of Thrones better. That's very true.
She could be playing the game. Right now she's not playing the game. She's just like, this is unfair.
She's a angsty teenager
just
right now.
Angsty teenager,
Yeah.
She's not getting down to work.
For me, like, I guess makes sense. But I'm like, I'm with you there. It's like, oh, she could be doing some more. And then what I like, though, is everyone maneuvering around her. It's actually a good way to almost be an everyman. She's almost like an everyman because, like, she's like, oh, I'm just going to do my thing, right? Yeah. Whereas now we're, like, thinking everyone around her is, like, being politically, maneuvering around. And I'm liking all the new characters added, and it's going to be fun. And
it's good. Overall, I really enjoy it.
Yeah. And this past battle that happened was absolutely spectacular. That was really fun.
Last battle that happened. I'm trying to recall what battle that was.
It was the Battle of the Stepstones.
Battle of the Stepstones.
Battle of the Stepstones.
Have I seen? I thought I was caught up, but I didn't see today's episode. Is that what you're talking about?
So, nope, that's today's. I'm gonna watch it after this.
Yeah, me too.
To play games, but yeah, no, you saw it. It's where Damon.
I must have, but
Damon waves the white flag.
Oh yeah, with the Crab King.
That giant battle, yeah. That was awesome.
That one.
So I thought it was showing like kind of it was a big brain move on his part. He basically spoilers.
He did a good idea.
I don't really mind spoilers too much, I guess, unless it's a huge one.
Okay. No, he basically just false flagged him, and he was like, or not false flagged.
Okay.
He false to surrender, and then just to lure out like the bad guy because they were like hiding in these caves.
Yeah.
And then it lured him out, and then they were able to basically flank him with dragons, and then have like the rest of the force do it, and he like just soloed
the whole thing. Wow.
Yeah. He
basically did.
I mean, like,
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, I'll have to check out both those. I think I will.
Yeah.
I want to catch up.
It was a good moment.
Even though I don't want to watch Game of Thrones because I'm scared. I don't want to get invested and then have it not be good in the end.
Is that the main reason you don't want to watch it?
No, I don't know. Part of me is like, I heard all the backlash from Game of Thrones and I'm like,
yeah.
I think
it feels like
Game of Thrones
cash grab sometimes.
As a whole, like the first 8 seasons, I don't know how many there are. I think it's still worth watching. Like, I would rewatch it.
Yeah, I would.
Like, yes, the last couple episodes to a season or so were not as good as the rest. Story-wise, visually, still stunning. And that, to me, that doesn't discount most of the story, like 90% of the story that happened up until that point.
Yeah.
Was so good.
Yeah.
It's the journey, man.
I should watch the first 6 seasons at least, right? That's like,
I think honestly, knowing that the last couple bit won't be as good, it'll probably make the whole thing better because then you won't be like shocked. You'll be like, oh, okay, that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I'd have the setup for like, okay, I know it starts going downhill. The quality, like, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. We'll see it out.
Yeah,
So yeah,
Because there's certain ending battles that are just so good. Like they
Yeah.
look awesome.
I mean, for me, the Battle of Blackwater is still probably my favorite.
Oh, but
In
the Battle
OG.
of Bastards though was intense.
It was intense, but Battle of the Blackwater, I felt, I don't know, even though it was lower budget and stuff, there's something about it that just still stuck with me.
Yeah.
emotional. Okay.
And then you don't need to know any of that to go into this other show, so you could watch independently.
Yeah.
Honestly, what you could do is watch the
House of Dragons.
House of Dragons. Thank you. I just call it Game of Thrones because it's
Me too.
Yeah, it's
Thrones.
basically
Game of Thrones,
Thrones.
old Game
Just
of Thrones.
watch this new Game of Thrones, and then like have that maybe in mind. I don't think it'll spoil anything. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool. Like, I wonder if there'll be a shift in perspective after watching this, and then you watch Game of Thrones fresh.
Yeah.
Later down the line, and then it's like,
I
this
see
sets up
what's-
some of the ideas that will be
Yeah.
presented later in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Because it does. It talks about
Yeah.
some of the stuff.
A little bit. You know what I don't like though about these two new shows? They're becoming light novel title names. Like
Are they really?
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of
Rings
Power.
of Power. Yeah.
And then it's Game of Thrones, the House of Dragons. Like, just call it the House of Dragons. Just call it Rings of Power. I don't want to have to say the whole
The
thing
whole
every
thing.
time.
Yeah, the 6-word
Yeah.
plus title.
Yep.
They need that legacy
annoying.
title in there, though. They can't just say House
Next
of
we'll
Dragons.
have next we'll have Lord of the Rings. How I picked up a girl in a dungeon.
Lord of the
It's gonna be
Rings, is it right to marry the
I picked
girl?
up- how I picked up a Balrog in Moria
Yeah.
or something like that, right?
Lord of
the-
the Rings, how I became the world's most evil henchman to serving
yeah.
Sauron.
Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
my
So
ogre. The
stupid.
ogre is my cousin, and I'm sleeping with his wife, or something like that.
I'm sleeping with Sauron.
Yep.
Oh man, it'd be nuts. Like it's going that way. It seems like
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
it's
couple
going
things.
towards
There
that.
are
Maybe
sequels.
Japan's just ahead of the game. They know, like that's just the
They
future.
figured it out.
It's the future.
Yep. Yeah. But I do feel like it's weird. So talking about like Game of Thrones and stuff like that, I feel like we're in like I think we've passed the golden age of media. Wouldn't you say?
The golden
No.
age? I don't
No?
think so. I think there's.
I feel like there's so many good shows. I don't know if it's just nostalgia blinding me, which it probably is.
Yeah, I definitely disagree. I think we're not past the golden age. Just the age has shifted. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, I think going back to Better Call Saul, I think that is almost an antithesis for that we're still in it. Like there is no real golden age. I mean, that show is real good, Better Call Saul, and that
Show's real
show
good.
has its own like I guess rules, or it's not like a big fantasy like where magic rules exist and stuff like that, but it has character development and arcs that expand from like it's like a 13 this first episode of Breaking Bad aired like 13 years ago, and that stuff is still connecting back. That story is so cohesive and doesn't break any of the previous like things it set up before it.
Yeah, and you feel immersed in the world.
Yeah,
and
it's like
really high
so
quality.
consistent because the guy wrote the whole thing before he made the show, so he did a good
really?
job
That's
writing
cool.
it. But I think that is an example of a show that is still extremely like very high quality gold standard writing of a show and executed well throughout development.
Yeah.
I mean, Game of Thrones was like we've talked about this before. It's like it was kind of a cultural phenomenon, whereas Better Call Saul is definitely lower. There's not as a lot of action.
Well, Breaking Bad though was
Breaking
definitely
Bad
a
was
cultural
That was a
huge.
cultural phenomenon.
Yep, that was a big phenomenon.
That's why I say I feel like we're in like the silver age, or like because I feel like maybe not that, but at least for our generation. Because for me, the golden age was basically from 2008 to about 2018, that 10-year period, because you had stuff basically throughout most of like basically when Marvel movies during like the
when
golden
they
age of Marvel
started.
movies, right?
Yeah.
Phase 1 through
Yes,
3. Right? When
Marvel
they're-
is the cornerstone of our civilization.
cornerstone of
Thank you for
media
agreeing,
is-
Michael.
Honestly, it kind of feels like it right now
I
because
disagree.
I feel like everything like past and there's like this point where you have shows that start back then like OG Walking Dead, you have Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, shoot.
Yeah.
See,
But
It's an
I
interesting
think
coincidence.
to counter, I think every several decades has their shows or their movies that kind of define the era. Like the other night I just watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off for the first time in like 10 years.
Mhm.
And it's one of those just classic 80s movies, and
yeah, like
it's-
Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I don't like Breakfast Club personally, but it's this
We need to talk about this.
it's one of those classic movies that very much defines an era. Everybody knows about it or remembers it. But would you? And I imagine people from that time would say that's the golden age of film as well. But I think it also is definitely up to the people. Like Michael's probably feeling like when you say it's the golden era, it's just
It's like
I
subjective.
think it's probably more to your tastes and what you want out of media that you're experiencing, and how stuff today isn't feeding into that.
Yeah, I'm being a
And-
boomer.
For me,
Yeah.
I don't feel I have as much of that yet. I'm sure it'll happen eventually, but like one of my goals is to just like a lot of stuff that happens. And maybe that's just me being,
Positively minded.
positive or ignorant about it. I don't know.
No.
But I definitely think there's tons of stuff coming out today that is as good, if not better than before. And I have hope that there will be amazing stuff in the future as well. I think it just goes in cycles.
Yeah. I think like legacies of shows, I mean, it's hard because like Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, they took 10 years or 15 years or whatever. I feel like today we have shows that are at the beginnings of those, but they just haven't been able to be fleshed out. They're not on their season 6 or their season 8 of
Right.
Fine,
And
they're on
it's
their
like the
season
whole
1 or
Marvel
2.
thing. It took Marvel 10 years,
Yeah.
but in the beginning you're like, it's this cool new thing.
Really, I thought it was pretty good at the beginning.
Well, it was really good.
It was a good. It was a good.
I
beginning.
mean, let's be real. Iron Man is still awesome.
Yeah.
It's still top tier.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I don't know.
Are you thinking just Western media or other media
Correct.
as well?
Yeah, primarily Western. I'm thinking like that. I mean, I do think anime has created this resurgence. I do think there's definitely a lot of the shows that I really love and hold dear to me are from like the 2006 to 2014, 2015 era. So
I would agree with you if we're talking about Western cartoons.
and anime too.
Really?
I think
anime is
some of-
fantastic.
No, I wouldn't agree with
recently.
by the anime take.
I think anime is like really good.
I'm not saying it's not good. I think it's actually excellent. Just for me, there's like this. Most of the shows that I really enjoyed and like looking back, like, these are my top shows, came out from between about 2006 to 2016.
That's interesting because like you weren't even like watching anime back then, like back early,
Right,
which is
and
actually really
yeah.
interesting that you kind of feel
that's
that
not
way.
true. I mean, if you consider Avatar, maybe it's because of Avatar that it's like that. There's a something because like Avatar is one of those shows that pops up in the 2006 frame, right? And I throw that in the anime category.
I'm going to open my list. I know you were talking primarily about Western media, but I'm going to open my list of anime and see what has come out within the last 5 years. Because that would be after you. When did you say was your cutoff?
I said around 2018.
2018.
Yeah.
Okay.
2018,
so that was
2019.
like 4 years ago, right?
2018 is 4 years ago. Yep.
Four.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years ago. I'm going to see if anything within the last 4 years has hit like a 10 for me or around that.
I feel like I've got so much.
But I definitely with Western media, I feel like it's really fallen off. And I don't even know. I don't think it's because I spend less time doing it. But
yeah,
like watching shows, I don't know what it is. If there's this community aspect, but I feel like there's almost so much that it's diluted the pool where people just kind of push it out and generate that without actually trying to go for something extremely high quality.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more on maybe independent writers. It's weird because I don't know maybe there is some truth to that, to where like a lot of writers and like companies that are making shows are able to push things out in this like Netflix sort of way, and they'll get all this money and they don't need to put this effort into it that they used to for some of these shows.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
Like, even Netflix itself has kind of fallen off the wayside. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff. Like, I used to watch a lot of Netflix.
yeah,
Now,
Netflix I think has fallen off a little
gone.
bit with its shows.
Hold on, Michael. Let me tell you here. Mob Psycho season 2 aired in 2019.
yep, and I like that. I'm saying most things, though. Let's go through the most things, which are... Well, that's true. That's a straw man. My bad.
Also,
But you're right.
Domestic Girlfriend aired in 2019.
And that's it. Well, I love
Never
that
mind.
show.
That changes my entire
Why
argument.
does Domestic Girlfriend feel like a 2012 show? It just does. I don't know.
It's totally... It's probably written in 2012 or 2014.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But it does. It's so super cheesy. We gotta find the next one for that.
I want to watch Kiss Sis together. This is a random argument. Kiss Sis, and there's another one, right?
I'll watch it. That's gonna
I'll
be
do
such
it,
such a terrible experience, but I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
I'm trying to think of Western shows that have come out recently, though, too. In addition to my, Sean, you're doing the
I might have to
research.
look up a list and try and find
Yeah,
one.
but think about all the most recent MCU shows. Besides, like someone like Loki, it's kind of fallen by the wayside.
I agree.
Mandalorian.
There.
I'll say Mandalorian's awesome. I really enjoy
Mandalorian's
that.
sick.
But I feel like that's the exception to the rule. There's just so much content. And being
What do
thrown
you
at
think
us all
about
the time.
sequels?
I feel a lot of times they screw it up because,
It's like a
as we were
money
talking,
But like,
it's like a cash grab, and they don't. They either try to break the rules.
Yeah.
more of the
world.
sense of like, this show started in 2015, but now season 5 is in 2020, and it's like, would you count that as the same thing because it started later previously?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Because then, for me personally, Sword Art Online Alicization, way better, than the original, and that came out a lot later. That's 2019.
But
Yeah, that's pretty good.
isn't Sword Art kind of like a little subjective?
and that's
to
personal.
You?
I know
Yeah,
you don't like
yeah.
Sword Art as much as I do,
Yeah.
but like for me, I would say that is top tier. As for me,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dune came out,
and it's
recently.
one of those things that's recent, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You're right. Dune is
really good,
that's a
and
Dune.
Dune came
Oh,
out.
Yeah.
let's talk
Super-
about Dune.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That if they nail this next sequel, I think that could be like a show people will watch 10, 20 years down the line.
Oh, absolutely.
Dune's
They
so
they
good.
did
It's a
that
Lord of the
show
Rings
almost
level.
perfectly. Or that movie.
That was
almost
like so
perfectly.
good, and it's like a movie. I just feel like you don't see a movie like Dune very often. I guess if that
Yeah,
kind of,
I
that might
feel
aid
it's
Mike's argument
Yeah.
a little bit, but Dune did come
It's-
out,
it's no-
and it's really good.
it did come out, but no, that aids Sean's. But I feel
I was
like
going to
that's
bring up
the
Interstellar
exception
to
the rule.
prove my point, but it came out in 2014.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Interstellar was fantastic.
Right?
I mean, when did
Yeah, but I feel like all these shows that have come out recently, and it feels weird, like because like recently, but it just feels off. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something about it that just
I understand where you're
they
coming
don't
from.
have as much soul, I guess, to them. Either that or they deconstruct, like something like was Last Jedi or whatever it was. It's like this half-assed deconstruction of the
Mushoku Tensei came out in 2021.
yeah,
the original show.
I feel
And that's a
Slime
good show.
Slime season 2 was 2021. Oh, that was so good.
I feel like a lot of the Disney Plus stuff, though, in my opinion,
Redo of Healer 20.
yeah, that's in
God.
there. We do
Hey, you guys want to watch that together? God, that would be
dear
man.
goodness.
Vivi, actually, if you want to see an anime that is unlike a lot of things you've seen before, Vivi, Fluorite's Eye, really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard real good things
Mm-hmm.
about it. Code
Highly
Geass
recommend.
writers or whatever, I think, or is that
The
no?
writers,
That's
Code
ReZero writer, I think, is Vivi. But yeah, I honestly,
Yeah.
personally, when Disney Plus came out, I actually think Marvel took a big downhill for when Disney Plus came out, and then
Absolutely.
also like the Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Bar Mandalorian, of course. There's a lot of new Star Wars stuff coming out, and I hope it does really well because it's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
But
I just feel like Disney took an L on that because we'll see how it is.
Yeah. So
but
far, I think it's an L. Like I would agree.
I feel, yeah. It's an L, and because I think they're trying to push so much content out all the time. Because they basically they're like, okay, you need to have the cultural show. Like their goal, right, is at least just from the outside looking in. It looks to be like, okay, we need to have the cultural show that they need. People have to keep a Disney Plus account.
Yes. Yep.
To
it's a strategy.
Continue watching, so they're like up to date with Marvel and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've kind of there's this burnout.
Yeah, they're just kind of throwing
Plus,
stuff out there, like
exactly.
Yeah.
They're kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
I looked up a top TV shows the last decade ranked. I don't recognize the majority of these.
Like what?
So the top one that they rank, and this is from IndieWire.com, so maybe not the best, but
a source.
It is a source.
The top one, number one, is The Leftovers.
The Leftovers
HBO show. Ever heard of that?
What? Nope.
When did it come out?
Me neither. 2014 to 2017.
Of the past decade?
Number two is Fleabag.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of that. 3 is Breaking Bad.
Weird. Breaking Bad's
4
way
is
better than
BoJack
Leftovers.
Horseman.
I've never seen Leftovers.
Yeah.
5 is Hannibal, which I've heard of, but I don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
Then
That's
Veep.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Haven't
Veep.
heard of that either. Then
For
30
me-
Rock, which I've heard of but never seen.
30
How is 30
Rock?
Rock
Then the Americans.
higher than?
I've heard of that. I've heard that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
How is 30 Rock there?
How is
Then
30 Rock
Parks and
higher than
Recreation.
like either community? Well, it could be higher than Community, but higher than something like Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec is yeah.
I don't think this is a very trustworthy
Yeah.
site here. I'm going to try.
Yeah,
it.
I think,
IMDb. Here we go.
IMBT.
Can't go wrong with IMDb. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1, Game of Thrones. I mean, it's hard to beat that one.
Yeah.
This one also ranks The Leftovers as higher than Breaking Bad.
We might have to watch The Leftovers, guys.
What's The Leftovers about?
Is it
Is it about people left
3
over?
years after the disappearance of 2% of the global... That's not much. I mean, we lost that much to the Black Death. I don't know.
Yeah.
A group of people in a small New York community try to continue their lives while coping with the tragedy of the unexplained. That's 2%. That's like...
But it's not
What's
like
2%
it's not
of
like
8 billion?
2%'s like a couple million. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, did you finish
A
it?
lot.
Did you
Oh,
finish
what?
the description? Is that what they try to cope?
They try and cope with it. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Okay, then it's Breaking Bad. Then it's Better Call Saul. Then Westworld. I would agree with Westworld. That's a spectacular show.
Westworld was kind of spotty, right? And like season 1, amazing.
First 2 seasons, solid. Season 3, a dip. Season 4 is also solid,
yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then Succession.
Where's the boys?
The Roy family is known for controlling the world's biggest media and entertainment company. The world changes when their father steps down for the
We
company.
need to talk about that too.
What?
Succession. Speaking of fucking Succession.
I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it
No,
either.
no. IRL Succession.
Oh,
You what?
The Queen.
This is the first
My
podcast
queen.
since the Queen died.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Queen. Oh yeah, okay. Then it's Mr. Robot.
Oh,
And then,
Okay.
hey,
Mr.
funny
Robot's
enough, it's The
excellent.
Crown after that.
The Crown.
Yeah, that's funny.
Dark,
Yeah.
Watchmen, Chernobyl,
Dark
Sharp
is
Objects,
absolutely
Fargo.
fantastic. If you
What
guys
is?
haven't seen that, Dark,
Not seen it.
watch it. It's in German.
Alex
And it-
told me about that.
It's like
it was really good.
yeah. Just watch it.
Veep, Shameless, Atlanta,
Shameless.
Attack on Titan made it onto the IMDb TV list
I'm trying to
Yes.
figure out how
As
as number
Shameless.
17.
How is Shameless
Wow.
on
That's
there?
because it's damn good, man.
Dude, Shameless.
It's worthy of that spot.
I'm so upset.
Shameless.
Shameless was good for
Why?
like 2 or 3 seasons, and it got bad. It's like objectively bad at like recent seasons, which I don't get.
Then,
like I feel like you can't get a pass for just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 good seasons if you have like 8 seasons. Like if the last 4 are bad, they shouldn't be on the list, in my opinion.
I'm shocked. Star Wars Rebels is the next one.
What?
Really,
You think Star Wars Clone Wars would even
That
be above
isn't
that,
that
but
like that's a much
Rebels
better one.
was like the least. I think everyone's least favorite Star Wars.
Well, it is supposed to be
animated show.
really good. I do need to watch it, but like
thought-
it was initially aimed more at kids, but then it went super deep.
I thought Clone Wars was better
Then-
though.
I mean,
Then BoJack
the ending
Horseman.
of it. I mean, the ending of it was awesome, but everything before that, I was like, or sorry, no, that was Clone Wars. And if Clone Wars was
Clone
awesome.
Wars. I haven't seen Rebels.
I was like, yeah.
Rick and Morty's after that, number 20.
That's a fun one.
Big Little Lies, House of Cards, Barry, Daredevil, Vikings. You really liked Daredevil, didn't you, Michael?
It was all right. I liked the first season mostly. Basically, I just didn't like the suit, and then everything after that, it looked silly. Just have him wearing his black little mask thing. I'm like, all right, I'm 100% cool with Daredevil just wearing that.
I skipped a bunch, but Stranger Things is 39.
Yeah. But for I mean, to be fair, I'm also nitpicking where it's a small window, right? 2018 onward, so it's only like 4 years, and we're going off after. I picked 2008 to 2018, so we have a decade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, it just feels. I don't know what it is, but it feels like
things are just
the shows have just been
soulless.
going downhill.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
I feel like it's just a cyclical thing.
Yeah.
How so?
I think you go into, waves of content gets bad and then content changes because people don't like it, and then it gets good and then it goes bad again. And I think you may just be experiencing a bottom part of the lull or just on the way down.
And it's like each different genre has its lulls
Not
too.
that that's wrong, I'm just saying I think that's what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
I think we'll still get fantastic media, especially when the metaverse comes out.
I think we will too. Like in terms of like, I have great hope for content in the future, and I mean, right now there's just amazing shows airing as we talked about. So I don't know. It's hard to say sometimes.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm still holding firm on my point that I feel like we're in this dip of
great content.
No,
I don't know.
Great content. Maybe it's almost a content burnout from my perspective. It could be that because of like after 10 years of watching
all this
extremely quality TV, it's like your expectations are already set. Like I mean, I want to be 100% honest. My expectations are fairly high when it comes to new stuff.
Yeah. Also,
so it's like really hard to meet.
Which
that
could also
bar.
be part of the problem. It's like you keep getting better and better stuff, and then at some point it's just not going to satisfy.
That bar to hit again is going to be so hard. Like you cannot hit the
Yeah.
bar of some of these shows like easily.
That's why I reset my bar by watching isekai anime.
Yeah, it brings it down. It's like, so this was.
It just brings it down. I'm like, all right, well,
supposedly
anything's
it's a
better.
9 out of 10, but okay.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah,
Pro strat.
Yeah.
there's
There's definitely some truth to that though with the with the expectations being extremely high.
you should do
Especially when it comes to sequels, it's like that's one problem is I feel like Hollywood and TV especially has been outputting a bunch of sequels, and you have this, the show, right, which has, from an IP's perspective, right, from a business perspective, it's great to output sequels because you have a dedicated fan base already.
Right.
However, there's always going to be those expectations, and I feel like there's always like this, they screwed up, or there's this change in, a lot of times it's the change in the writing room or change in the background, right? This is one thing I really like about House of the Dragon is they brought George R. R. Martin back, the original writer, to executive produce, and so he's got his fingers in there a lot more, so he can be very detailed first and talk about things. One thing that I was watching a review over, I think it was the first episode with the tournament. Yeah. And one thing they mentioned is like George in the writing room was like, dude, this tournament has to be huge because this is like during like the prime of the Targaryens, right? Like this is when they're at their height. This is when it's taking place. So the tournament has to be like go on, and they did an awesome job of like having this gigantic tourney ground.
Was that the joust one or the
joust? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That was pretty. Yeah.
And the hunt too.
The hunt.
The
That's
last
big
episode.
thing.
That's how a hunt should be. Is this gigantic feast and like everyone's going out bonfires.
What a sad excuse for a hunt though. Like.
Right. Well, also
like,
just
I'm gonna walk
royal
up and
hunt
stab
in
the thing
general.
after everyone did all the work.
Yeah.
But it's very much like an older king, kingly thing. It's one of those things where you can see the corruption or the downturn of the empire, by events like that, which I think they did very well.
Because it feels like it's like gilded, right? Like
Yeah.
everything is fancy on that side, but rotten to the core.
Yeah.
And
Like, a king of 300 years ago would have been like lost a limb in a hunt, and like, that's a king. Now they just sit, I also
or he gets literally stabbed by the Iron Throne.
I was just going to bring that up because to me, I don't know if this is true at all. This is just something that I was theorizing watching this. So one of the king currently, Colton, sits on the Iron Throne and is getting like pricked by it occasionally. And what I like to think, like my headcanon, is that he's relaxing on the Iron Throne too much.
It's like symbolic kind of thing.
And because of that, like it's not supposed to be a comfortable seat. This is the hot seat. You got to be ready to go at any point in time. And if you relax at any point, you're gonna get pricked by the throne. And I think if that's not what they're alluding to, I think that's like my headcanon as to what's happening.
George has said that. And it talks about this a little bit, I think, in the original Game of Thrones, as well as it definitely talks about in the books, is like there's this idea that, if a king isn't destined for the throne, right, or like the king will get like pricked, get hurt, right? For instance, Mad King Aerys, this is talking about the original Game of Thrones, like he would get pricked all the time, right? And it shows like he is not destined for, or he is not deserving of the Iron Throne. Right, and Aegon the Conqueror designed it that way, right? He built it because it's like you got to be exactly on your toes, and you can't be too comfortable, otherwise, what will happen? You'll let the realm fall apart.
Yeah, this actually might be a good segue potentially, but like I'm a big fan of Aragon, the book series, and in Aragon, there's this. The king of the dwarves has this throne that is just super uncomfortable, like purposely made to be really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it's that for a reason, because the king is not a comfortable position. You want to be doing your utmost to serve and stuff like that. But I also think that maybe you think of you're talking about like media just in video format, but I was thinking as well as books, like how those have changed over time. And to me, big sci-fi and fantasy reader, you think at first that a lot of the good sci-fi is from 10 to 30, 40 years ago. I mean, Dune was written in the 60s.
Yeah.
Or maybe even earlier, actually.
I think it was late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah. So like that's a while ago, and that's prime sci-fi. But then you also have some books written now that are just stellar.
Yeah.
Pun intended. Like the Bobaverse, which I've talked to you guys about before.
Yeah.
Fantastic book.
The Martian for me is the last
Martian.
big sci-fi one, and that was awesome.
That's true.
If you watch like The Martian, you should really read Project Hail Mary. It is same author, and I think better than The Martian.
All right, I'll look it up.
So good. And I'm reading this other one called Revelation Space, which is like this merciless space sci-fi book. It's like they don't pull punches in the sense that they will explain nothing but use really high concept sci-fi things. So if you don't know your sci-fi, it's like you don't know what the heck is going on.
What the heck? It's like a high tier, like high level sci-fi.
Yeah,
book.
it's like you're 7 memes deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, except you need to know like all these crazy concepts to like understand the type of sci-fi
like for
technology.
instance,
Like read these sci-fi books before reading this one because you'll need to know these concepts.
Like they reference this their term for cryo sleep is reefer sleep.
Okay.
But that's
because
the
they
thing.
smoke
It's
a lot
like,
of weed.
I don't know. But it's the thing. It's like you have to just interpret that this word means this type of thing.
Yeah. Like from just the context of it.
And you have to know that type of thing that it's about is cryo sleep. It's that type of like several layers deep where you just don't know what's happening unless you've read something that describes a certain phenomenon before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's kind of cool that they have their own kind of. It's like having a language, right?
Yeah.
Like a common language inside of that, like the specific jargon.
Yeah. Or like another thing is like there's a civilization in this book that has augmented themselves cybernetically, more so mentally, so they can plug into things. They have like their neural augmentation essentially.
Yeah. So you can jack in.
In a way, or just interface with things in real time. Like most of them don't even speak much anymore. They just converse via thought.
Oh, okay.
And that's really high level to someone who's never experienced a sci-fi book of that nature before.
Yeah.
Like I remember in high school, I was talking because I'm big on sci-fi, so I was familiar with all these concepts of like cryo sleep and all that.
Yeah.
And I was talking with a friend of mine, and they're like, why is this like, does it make so much sense to you? I'm like, well, because it's kind of
Always
obvious,
here.
you know? Like,
Yeah, it's like you've
but
read
it's just
so much
because I
about
had
it.
read so much of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of like, it's almost, you've adopted the culture.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a cultural
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And it kind of weirdly helps you in actual science because you like understand. Science usually is led by sci-fi in a way,
Yeah.
so you kind of know what's going to happen in the future in a way. It's kind of funny.
Well, yeah, people,
Yeah, it is.
sci-fi.
But I think
I was just gonna say, sci-fi writers who know their stuff kind of know like technologies, and they'll try to get like input on how these things actually work. So that's how it.
Yeah.
I feel like usually you could actually like you can pinpoint that stuff. Like, oh, like this is kind of what we're going towards. It's always kind of neat.
Yeah. But it's always like what I like about sci-fi too, though, is you always have to remember it's like always going to be in like a side feature, right? Think about the sci-fi of like the 50s, right?
Yeah.
Much different
flying
sci-fi today.
cars.
Yes.
Very different, right?
Yeah.
And then like, oh, this 2001: A Space Odyssey, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's things that they thought of that we don't have yet because of like essentially selection pressure. Like, you know, we want different things.
Yes.
But there's things that we have now that are ridiculous. The internet.
Yeah.
No one in the 50s.
Yeah,
that's not true.
That's a
but
big thing.
I won't say no one, but one thing that was very uncommon is like internet, like global spanning network of information.
Or at least they predicted that, but not the impact it would have.
Right.
Yes.
Or the full extent. You know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the sci-fi writers could have written about this electronic library that exists and you can access information at all times.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of them interpreted the social aspects and impacts it would have.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to do. But I don't know exactly where my whole point was leading with the whole book thing, but like
Books are still great, even though they've changed a lot.
I think well, now so many more people write that it's just so much more stuff, but there are still amazing things to read as well in that sphere.
It's just more about finding the diamond in the rough.
Yeah,
stuff.
more.
But I also do feel
Ross.
very nostalgic for certain series that came out a while ago, like Percy Jackson or Maximum Ride or Aragon.
Oh, really? I feel I've read some of those like Percy Jackson and Aragon, and I don't feel really nostalgic. I'm like, oh, it was for the time, and now I'm like, all right, I'm good.
No, I'll definitely reread them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I've read the whole Aragon series 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
And like the Harry Potter series, I'll be rereading that at some point.
God,
That's definitely a bit nostalgic. Yeah.
I gotta just read
And
that.
I feel like that's
series.
such a cultural phenomenon too, right?
Oh yeah, that was a cultural phenomenon intensely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
I mean, and that was also during that 2008 to 2018 period too.
True.
It was.
Because what was it? Deathly Hallows was. When did that come out?
Oh man, that was like high school for us. So probably 2017.
Oh, yeah.
Was it college?
No,
2014?
not in 2017.
I was thinking like
Yeah,
2013 to 2015, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Let's find out. Publishing history.
I know I saw the 5th movie.
So they're not publishing movies because I feel like the
movies.
Harry Potter
Oh, okay.
movies were. I mean, the books are popular, but I feel like the movies are more popular.
I disagree.
I feel like people.
But
Yeah.
in revenue,
watch
they
the
probably
movies.
made more. But in terms of like pure fanaticism, I think the books were higher. Okay, so the Deathly Hallows
I would
Part
agree
2
with
was
that. Yeah, fanaticism,
2011.
but spread wise,
The movies popularized the
2011.
books more, I think. Oh.
Sorcerer's Stone was 2001, so that's a 10-year span.
Yeah.
You know, funny enough, I think the Harry Potter series was the prelude to the Avengers series, because that is a long spanning series of time that keeps a coherent story. It's just based on a book, and the other one's based on comics.
Maybe, but I feel like the Harry Potter, it follows the same cast of characters, whereas with the Avengers, it's you have usually a different main character.
That's true.
And then you have the Avengers, which is just mashing all their egos together as they're being built up through their individual stories.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking of it's like
It's like a series that just went on and had a
a
climax.
long-spanning series, you know, or coherent storyline. Mm-hmm. So apparently the box office total for those 8 films were $7.7 billion.
So almost $1 billion per.
Is that actually a lot now, though?
$1 billion per movie.
I'm gonna look up the Marvel movies.
I was gonna say, I feel like Marvel could release one of their not even their best movies, and they could make a crap ton of money on it. Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
could they not?
I think Thor didn't do that well.
Well, Thor: Love and Thunder
sucked.
I did. Yeah, I really didn't like it, but that didn't like review super well. I'm just thinking like, what was like a middle ground Marvel movie that came out between Phase 1 and 3, like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 maybe, or something like something that just it wasn't like an Avengers movie. It wasn't Iron Man.
I have the highest grossing movie franchises and series worldwide as of June 2022. Leading. No, let's not start with leading.
I would say leading is probably
Let's start
Marvel.
with down below. Let's start with the lowest on this list. There's 13 entries here. What's the next one, actually? Yeah, okay. Wait. Mission Impossible is lower? Okay, sorry.
Whoa.
So lowest is Transformers.
Okay, I can see
which has
that.
about 5 movies, I think, right?
Yeah.
4.85 billion.
Okay.
Jurassic Park, 5.6.
And
DC.
That's 6 or 7 movies.
Something like that,
That's
yeah.
6.
So that's per movie. That's actually that's lower.
Yeah.
Than Transformers.
DC extended 5.8.
There's
Then
a
we
lot.
have
Yeah.
Then we have Lord of the Rings
Really? And
at 5.85.
Jesus.
And
that's like
5.85. That's actually 6 movies.
Peter
because
Jackson's Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the Hobbit, 3 Hobbit movies,
But with
and the
inflation.
original trilogy.
with inflation. That's a
well,
lot.
no,
of
that's the newer ones. The older ones probably were way below that.
That's just the newer one.
This is just the Hobbit movies.
Whatever Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings are, I don't know what.
No,
that
that's
qualifies as.
the original trilogy.
Oh,
and
okay,
then-
then it is that.
Yeah.
The next is X-Men
Oh, there's a
at
lot.
6 billion.
But there's also a lot of
There's a shit
X-Men
ton of
movies.
a lot of
yeah.
X-Men.
There's like,
Then
I
Fast
think
and
a
the
dozen.
Furious.
What? Oh, goodness.
I see that. Yeah.
I could see it.
6.6.
There's 9 movies, and Fast, and like honestly, Fast 5 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Then it's just straight up Batman. Like all the Batman movies.
Really?
At 6.8.
The Dark Knight trilogy.
And then it's Avengers. Like just the Avengers movies. At 7.7 billion.
Oh, okay.
James Bond, 7.8. Spider-Man, 8.2.
Spider-Man, which Spider-Man?
I like
I
how
think
they
all
break it down.
Spider-Mans.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Then
I like how
we
they
have
break it down.
Yeah.
this is a different total than the previous thing, but this is Harry Potter at 9.6 billion.
Wow, so Harry Potter
Okay.
beat out a lot of those other ones. Huh.
Then what's left? What's left do you think it could be? Last two.
Yes,
here.
Star Wars probably.
And I want to say Star Wars, Iron Man.
Would Iron Man have its own
man.
category, you think?
I mean, Spider-Man did,
Yeah.
but Spider-Man also includes all
All of it.
It includes all of like the Raimi trilogy, right? Like all of the.
Yeah.
So
I think
Yeah.
I think
Okay,
Star Wars is gonna have to be there. I gotta think. And then what's the last
Yeah,
one?
Star Wars.
So Harry Potter
Bond?
at 9.6. Then we get to Star Wars. at 10.3 billion.
Okay. And they have more than 9 movies. Okay.
Yeah. Then the last one is the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, just the whole thing.
The whole thing.
All Marvel movies, which is where we originally wanted to get to.
Yeah.
And it's only like 25.
2.66.
What?
26.6.
I was like 2.66.
2.6.
Oh no.
Like
Marvel.
26.6 billion. Doubling Star Wars, more than that.
Yeah. Doubling all of Star Wars.
Yeah, it's just like a bar graph and then boom.
Yeah. Well, they got
Just
like
destroys it.
25. They have like 26 movies to go off of too.
That's true. I think
So-
each one collectively made Civil War made 1.1 billion.
Okay.
Let's see, anything else made over $1 billion?
Got to think Infinity War and Endgame are high.
What's the average? That's the question.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
Infinity
average
War,
seems to be about.
It's like $1 billion per.
Ooh, some of them are really low.
Oh.
Endgame beat the 2 billion mark.
Oh, but some in here are like really weird. So like even Hulk made 245 million.
Yeah.
I would say the average, just like ballparking it, looking at these numbers, is probably around 500 to 600 million
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
per movie.
Okay, so yeah, Harry Potter did do.
Morbius made 163 million.
Morbius does not deserve
No,
1 million.
it made 163 trillion more bucks.
Hey, Iron Man was 585 million
Okay.
at the time. Thor was 450 million.
What about Infinity War?
I think
Endgame?
Captain America: Civil War is the highest grossing
That's
individual
the highest
Marvel movie.
one.
Maybe besides Avengers. I don't see Avengers here.
Because
Oh.
they're in their own separate category, probably. in
Well,
just the-
Endgame actually was 858 million.
I'm surprised it did not.
No,
Is not
no,
the biggest.
Endgame broke. It broke $1 billion.
Maybe that's
I think
just
it broke
domestic.
2 billion.
Yeah, I thought Endgame was
Because-
the biggest in like ever because it was.
I'm pretty
they
sure
re-released
it broke ridiculous numbers, like 2 billion or something like that.
Endgame box office. Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
2.8 billion.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, Endgame. I guess with all the shit I give Marvel, Endgame does deserve the biggest money. The biggest money.
right after, and then Titanic.
Wait, what?
Titanic
Hold
still
on now.
top?
Yeah,
Hold on,
yeah.
hold on,
Titanic
hold on,
is like
hold
a
on.
hugely grossing, highly grossing movie.
Where is this thing getting its stuff? Hold on. This article from March 2021 says Avatar retakes box office crown for Avengers Endgame after China re-release.
Oh my god!
What?
James Cameron's like, okay, boys, we need to take back the crown. I know Avatar was
Also-
before Endgame. I didn't know it took
I
it
also
back.
think it adjusts
though.
for inflation too.
Okay, so this article, this is from CNBC. In 2019, Avengers Endgame won the title with 2.797 billion box office. But as of Saturday last year, Avatar's box office gross surpassed 2.802 billion. Can they even do that? Is that legal?
I didn't know it was I didn't know. I guess you
I don't
can't just
think
re-release
this
stuff.
is a. Yeah,
There's a really funny picture here, actually. I'm going to send it
I
to
mean,
you
that's
guys.
pretty ridiculous. Like
A really funny...
someone just was like, we want the title. Give us the title. Release it in
Oh,
China.
absolutely.
Release it in China.
I'm excited to see Avatar's next movie.
I'm pretty excited for that. Yeah, it'll be very good visually.
Is
at
it
its
Shape of Water or something like that?
Shape
Way
yeah,
of
something
Water?
like that.
Yeah,
The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water.
I think it's a different movie.
It's
World
way
of
of
Water.
Way of Water. Or something. Yeah, something like that.
The way of Water.
What is this photo? That's
I
hilarious.
think they're like, ha, gotcha.
Gotcha, Avengers. That's pretty funny. No, the new Avatar is going to be gorgeous. I think it's going to
look
be
so
amazing.
Good. It's going to look so
to look
good.
at.
Yeah.
It's just a flex on water simulation.
Yeah,
That's
I
the whole
think they're just
reason.
like watch our
Absolutely.
water physics, watch them, and come.
Wasn't it? I think I saw a corridor thing of them just being like, "What the is with these
Yeah.
water physics, man?"
It's going to be so good.
But all right,
I don't know. Is media failing into decline? You decide.
You decide. Let us know.
Viewers.
Give us some good opinions on shows that aren't failing. If you think that is an incorrect or a hot
especially
take,
like a little niche one. If you can find someone like super niche, please let us know.
I got a niche one for you.
Those are the most fun.
What's it called? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's got Ben Stiller in it or something. The one I just watched, the Apple show. I'm blanking. No. The Apple show. It's got
It's on Apple.
Oh my God! I had Sean get it for me just a little while ago.
What?
The one that's on Apple TV. It's about Severance.
Yeah.
It's called Severance. That's a good one. That's a very good one that came out very recently. Niche. Only on Apple TV.
So
There was a
it's-
really good Apple
it's
TV movie that came out recently with Tom Hanks about like some sort of crossing in World War One, I think. Really good.
Apple TV has like these weird, like really good shows. I don't know if there's a lot of stuff on it, but they do release some like straight bangers. Like not.
Did you guys watch Foundation?
I
Oh yeah, that was an
didn't.
Apple TV, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Foundation was nuts. I like
Foundation
that.
was awesome.
What is Found-
We had an episode where we talked about Foundation, I think.
Is that the one with the day dawn dusk?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
You should check that out.
I want to watch it. Yep, I do want to watch it.
It's excellent. So yeah, I mean, we've made some good kind of points. I still think I don't know. There's something about the last couple of years where
You
just
think
it's
we
fallen
will in
off.
decline?
Yeah, and it's not just because of the virus that shall not be named, but it's,
Because of corporate
Other things.
America, Hollywood.
I think so. I think it's because it's just become too corporatized. I mean, it's always has been, right? But they've kind of gotten to the point where like they rest on their laurels. As Sean said, it'll probably be like this dip, and then it'll come back
A resurgence,
up because
yeah.
Cycle.
then people will be like, "Oh, everything's shit now, and we need new things," and they lose money, and they're like, "All right, time to get more money." So they invest more in
like the writing and
good
the
quality content.
the quality content.
quality content.
Quality content. Like this podcast.
Like this podcast, we have quality
Yes.
content. Now we are getting up on a high quantity, but we also have all quality.
100% quality.
Yep,
100%
not scuffed at all.
No scuffing. Absolutely
I don't have
not.
to edit these at
No,
all.
Sean just is like, yeah, throws them right in.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yep.
Top 100 podcasts.
Sean doesn't have to edit Colton accidentally doxing everyone.
No, I never dox anyone because I fake dox people. I'm like, yeah, Sean, yeah, you live in.
should come up with fake cities we live in.
Yeah, it's like I live
Actually, that would be
in
great and change them
Albuquerque,
each time.
New Mexico. Yep, that's me.
The problem is that you have to. If you do
to
that,
know
there'll be
about
a
your
point. You also throw your actual city in there or else you basically do process of elimination.
Yeah.
onto-
That's fair. Well, no, it's just get it one city. I live in New Mexico, guys.
Yeah, I live in Albuquerque. We live in the same place, Sean.
We live an hour away from each other.
Yeah.
You live in Albuquerque. I live in
Santa Fe.
I don't know.
That's the other one, I think.
New Mexico.
Santa Fe, yeah.
Santa Fe.
I was like Tucson. No, it's
I live in San
Arizona,
Bernardino, actually. Sorry.
but San
Ah.
Bernardino. Yep.
There's an
Actually, we
Eagles
should
of Death
all
metal song about San Bernardino.
we should all use California, like suburbs of LA.
Oh yeah.
Just like
I call it
And
Van
just use
Nuys.
that as-
I live in Van Nuys. It's awesome. It's the greatest place on earth.
I
live in
actually
Santa
was
Barbara.
listening to a song the other day that referenced Van Nuys.
Van Nuys is. Was it a good reference or was it like not good?
I was like, oh hey, I recognize that. Well, I didn't really think there was a context to it,
Oh, okay.
or a good or bad context to it.
Gotcha.
Like, you know.
Just like a rhyme. It worked. They're like, yeah, they're pretty nice guys. They all live in Van Nuys.
Hey.
Yep. And with that, thanks for watching Almost a Podcast.
Thanks, everyone. Really
This
appreciate
has been
it.
your
Thank
host,
you.
Mike. Yeah, and won't dog you, but like, follow, subscribe, do all that stuff.
all the good
Ring
shit.
the bell, even though there's no bell. But
There's no bell.
there is-
We should get a bell to ring.
We should get a bell right.
That would be great.
Just end it
Ding
with that.
ding 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 ding.
ring the bell, like one of those tiny little ones. Yeah, or no, even better, a ship's bell, like a giant,
God.
like, metal
I
bell.
want to get a gong.
Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Add,
Dude, that'd
edit
be
that
dope.
in.
That's how you end the episode. Ding.
Yeah. You can say that in. That's easy. That's great.